All right, welcome in everybody. Glad you're here. We're going to be chatting about DLMMing, taking in questions, and talking all things current market. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them here. We'll be chatting. I can pull your questions up live on the stream. We're going to be discussing multiple different coins, how we DLMM, why, all that kind of good stuff. Can you DLMM already? DLMMing is only on Meteora. You can do LPs on Radium as well as Orca and a few other different sites and things like that. But if you're going to be DLMing specifically, that is on Meteora only. Yes, I am live on YouTube as well. You can click on my link in Twitter to be able to see that. All right. Again, welcome everybody. Glad you're all here. Gonna start chatting about what I'm doing, but kind of just letting some people come in first. So a few different coins that we're looking at today. We'll pull up some more as well. You want to DLMM for blue chip, how would you do it? Let me see if I can. Yeah, it's not letting me follow that, but I'll look it up. It's called blue chip. I'll verify that that's it. Yeah, this is the right one. So I'll just do my general analysis on this token, and we'll kind of go from there. So I would say this token is at 283K market cap. Its volume is incredibly low on both the 30-minute and the 24-hour. And I'm not sure how long this token's been out, but this is not one that I would DLMM. And so I would say you want a token that's going to have more volume than this. You could DLMM it, but you're only going to earn fees when stuff's traded. And so it may be that you earn a little bit of fees, but over the long haul, it's really not going to be worth it to DLMM something like this. If you believe in this token, I don't know what it's about or what it's for, but if you believe in it and want to hold it long term, then you know that's something that you'd have to look into yourself. It is way down from its all-time high, but as far as DLMing, I wouldn't mess with it personally. Can't post CAs on YouTube. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, the chat I'm looking at is through my StreamYard, so I see the chat for both YouTube and on Twitter. And so New Type, you're here from YouTube. Appreciate you watching. Hugo's on YouTube as well. Appreciate y'all being here and checking me out. Let's take a look at where Solana's at right now. Graham Good, welcome in, man. If y'all have any questions about DLMing or anything like that as I'm going through, please let me know. We're going to be looking, I'm in Fee Printers Discord, so we'll be looking in there as people post about different tokens, kind of what's going on. We'll also be watching to see kind of what tokens are doing well. We're currently DLMMing Fred. We're currently, which you can see is here, we're DLMing Doge Cast, which has been doing really well also. Looks like it is just out of my range on the bottom side. But you can see we're earning over 300% on the 24-hour fees, earning really, really good fees. It's right on the edge. There you go. It's back in range, right on the edge of the bottom end, because I did somewhat of a tight range on it, which is totally fine. Even though that is the case, basically I'm looking for it to bounce off of this support right here. And so as long as it bounces off of this and comes back up, we'll be fine. We want to look for it to close out. If it's going to close out a candle, if it closes out just a little bit below, again, we give it a little bit of leeway. But if it starts to move down anymore, we'll probably close out. We'll sell it. If there's any loss, hey, that's okay. Overall, we've collected fees that should offset that a little bit. But this is one that I think should do well over the long haul. So that's why we're holding it. Are you still in Dogecash? Yeah, you can see it's right there. Just got priced out of Dogecash. Yeah. Hey, could you explain your method when setting up lines in the bird eye chart? Yeah. So that's a great question. So like, I don't draw charts the same way that other people do necessarily. I'm looking for resistance and support. Other lines that people draw, you'll often see like different sort of like trend lines and stuff like that. And people will be like, oh yeah, this is creating this, the trend, downward trend like this. I don't draw these because I don't need to draw them to see that it's in a downward and an upward trend. If I could click the dang line. So like, obviously it's in a downward trend here. You could see that it was in a downward trend here as well before it broke back up here. And so I don't really draw those lines, but the lines I do draw that I often look at are the resistance and support lines. So basically what I'm doing is I'm looking at, when I'm looking at it like this, okay, it's moving down. I'm saying, okay, what are the previous support lines, right? And so you can see when it was up here, I drew this line here, which shows a previous support here. And if you watch back in its history, it also was supported here. And then I do the same thing. This one, I drew the line because this was the previous support where it came down and it bounced back up. Basically, this is where people were interested in buying it. And you can see that same thing happened all the way back here. So when you see multiple places, it's showing, okay, this is the point at which people, once it sells, that people feel comfortable buying in at again and again. And so that's the next support, right? If you look at there's not really much support. There may be like these little micro supports kind of on the way down. But if it breaks below here, there's not really a whole lot of support below that, which basically means all these people that bought in here will maybe be looking to take profit. And so my bird eye is a little slow right now. And so if it breaks below this, I don't feel super comfortable holding it. And it may not go all the way down. It just means that I don't see any other supports that would give me confidence that it isn't going to do that. I'm going to refresh this. I got so many tabs open. I think it's struggling here. So let me go ahead and get out of a bunch of this. Yeah, it's a great question, JC NFT. So we'll let this load, and then I'll kind of talk to you what I'm talking about here. Explain. All right. So, and it does look like it's fighting the support here. So these are support lines, and these are resistance lines, right? So basically, the only difference between the two, the way that I'm not like one of those people that's going to be able to tell you all the names of all the charts. I've just done this. This is my own kind of stuff I've done. I've watched a little bit on charts, but this is called a support because it's supporting, it's holding up the coin. And this is resistance because it's resisting from going up any higher, right? That's why I call it that. I think that's why other people would call it that as well. And so I'm drawing these lines and I'm looking at previous supports and I'm looking at previous resistances. And so you can see here when I draw these lines, these are all the resistance lines. So as this comes back up, we're looking at previous highs, and we're not looking at like little ones like this little dip or this one here, like this one. I don't count that. I'm looking for the large ones here, right? So we're looking at the previous highs here, and then there's even more further back, previous highs like this one here. And I would actually kind of lump these two together. Sometimes I'll put it between these two if you have two that are really, really close together. And then, of course, you have the all-time high up here. And so what I look for when I'm looking at a coin and where it's ranging at, this is a very wide range, right? And so I'm looking for it to break up, and I want to see it come back to kind of a central point in its range, and also for it to be in an upward trend. And so a downward trend means that you see it hit a high here, and its next high that it made was lower than its previous, and the next low that it made is lower than its previous, and then a lower high and a lower low and a lower high. So that's a downtrend. An uptrend is the opposite. We want to start to see it make higher highs than the previous ones, these here, and higher lows, meaning when it dips, it doesn't go as low as these do, right? And then a higher high and a higher low. And so we want to see it do that. And then once it's in an upward trend, we're going to look for it to break above one of these kind of center point lines in which it's showing that it's not just in a temporary breakout, but it's actually in more of a long-term breakout on its overall chart, and that it's going to push up even higher. So that's kind of what I look for, and that's what these lines are for. Hopefully that helps. Lapapu, I can look that up, new type. We were looking at that the other day. LAPUPU. Oops. And we're still watching Doge cast to see if it's going to drop below that or not. Laptop. Wow. That's not what I put in there. Hunter Biden's laptop. That's funny. Foam, what's up, man? Wow, we're already up to 134 views. Thank you for everyone that's here and watching. If you are here, and you want to get more information, so you want to go live, please feel free to follow and put notifications on so you know when I go live. I usually make a post about it sometime before. And also come up and ask a question. Please let me know. Helped a ton. Thanks for your explanation. Yeah, for sure, dude. Nice little papu. What's this big cat that suddenly pumped? I can talk to you about that, Giotto offspring. Let me just look at Lapapu real quick. Yeah, so Lapapu has like no volume and is in a giant downtrend. So I would say this is not good. If you wanted to get back into it, I would not feel comfortable getting back into a coin that's dumped this much unless it broke back above this line here, which is a pretty big uphill battle. You could maybe say if it broke above like this area right here, that you could get back in. This one might be a little more risky. But it's dumped a lot. So, I mean, you're looking at one of these, even maybe higher lines before I'd get back in. So I'd say I wouldn't DLM this. It's not one that I would buy either at the point that it's at. So, yeah, BitCat. So we can look at BitCat. Actually don't even need my, my headset on right now because I'm not listening to anything. Let's see. Oh, wait, not BTCat. So BTCat is an old school one that's, or not old school, but it's one that's been out a little while, kind of the original Bitcoin cat. But the current one is the one that Bitcoin posted, which is this one. Yeah, so BitCat, we got actually in, it's, holy crap. It's at 83 million. We got in around like, or I got in around what, maybe 15 to 20 million. Yeah, so Bitcoin, their Twitter account posted this image, not the actual coin itself. Sorry. It posted the image. Real quick before I do that. So Dogecast has now broken down below the point at which I feel comfortable. We earned a bunch of fees, which is going to help with the offset of this loss. But I don't, sit around and say, oh, I'm going to wait for it to come back up. It could come back up. It could do fine. But once it breaks below the resistance, which is lower than I actually even wanted it to be, once it does that, I just go ahead and get out. I take my loss and I don't worry about it because losses are going to come. But I have a lot in this token. So if I let it dip down too far, then I'll lose even more. So we're going to go ahead and get out of it. And we'll move on from it. And then we can talk about BitCat. So I think we were in BitCat around like 15 or 20 mil. I don't remember exactly. It may even have been like 25 mil when I got in. I don't remember exactly when it was. But this thing's ripping because Bitcoin posted this image, which is like the image here. You'll see Bitcoin's main account, 7 million followers. posted this, and then somebody made a coin about it, and that's where it blew up and it's taken off. And it's crazy. It's already at 83 mil. If anybody would have gotten into this thing like around $1 million or less, they would be just sitting amazing. But I didn't actually see it until a little bit later in Fee Printer's Discord. It was really good. You can see Doge Cash is already coming back up, so it could do well. I don't worry whenever I'll just explain how I kind of mitigate my losses and stuff like that. I'm not worried about if it comes back up. If it looks like it's going to make a good chart and I want to get back in, it's been printing really well for fees. And so I'll look at doing that later. But the way that I look at it is, hey, if I get into something, I think it's going to do well, but it ends up not doing well. I don't just hold on to it forever. I have to mitigate my risk. There's plenty of opportunities to make way more money than the amount that I just lost. And so there's no reason for me to try to hold on to it and then have it go even lower, right? And so we'll just move on from it. We'll come back to it another time, take the loss. And that's how I view it, right? I'm going to have losses, but as long as I have more wins than losses, then we're good. The current wallet, I have two different wallets. I'm doing a challenge wallet that I've grown from 1,000 all the way up to like 23K right now. And then I have another wallet that I manage that's I took from 20K and it's all the way up to like 130, 135K. I'm not exactly sure where it's at because it fluctuates a lot, but somewhere around there. And so that's only been about a month and a half DLMMing and doing what we're doing. I also hold some meme coins and stuff like that here and there, like Major, which is one I think will still go higher, which has also helped with that. But most of what I've done is DLMMing. So Major's a coin I think is going to go much, much higher. It hit like 92, 93 mil today. It's dipped down a little bit, which is done multiple times. But yeah, cool. Bitcoin posted it. Yes. I showed you that. Do you think Ava is a good overnight? I'm in Asia. If so, you're saying good overnight would be my daytime. I can take a look at it. I was in Ava earlier. I don't think I'm still in Ava AI, this one. Yeah, Doge Cash is actually, looks like it might be pushing back up a little bit. We'll see. I can't remember. I think I sold out of Ava. Let me see. Yeah, I don't have my Ava anymore. I don't know if that's the right one, but let's take this from here. But yeah, I don't think I have it anymore. Yeah, I sold out of it earlier. Made some good profit on it. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, Ava's still doing really good. Ava's been doing well. It's been slowly trending up while also kind of moving. It's still somewhat of a newer coin as far as like how recent it's been doing really well. So it's something to watch. But it could be a good overnight. I hate saying like, oh yeah, it is, because all you know, you can wake up in the morning and it's at half the cost, right? I try not to overnight stuff that's newer, unless I really believe in something, especially with newer coins. So just be wary of that. But based on what it's done, it would be great if it keeps doing this, right? So, but we'll have to see. It's hard to fully know. What could be a good entry for BitCat after this pump? That's a great question. Let's go to it. All right, so you've seen it's taken a few dips. Like this would look, I drew this line earlier. This would have been this would be a great spot to have gotten in on either one of these dumps. Basically, what you're looking for is for it to move back off of an all-time high, for it to retrace like 25 to 30%. And so you can see here it hit an all-time high and it bounced off of that all-time high here, and both times went down. This one, it came back up a little bit sooner, but it went from 0.077, 0.078 all the way down to 0.053. So that's like a 25 to 28% drop right there. And it did the same thing here. So that would have been a good time. Basically, you would look for it to dip down, for it to start to bounce back up, and then you could get back in. And you want to look for it to resist off of a previous or bounce off of previous support, which you can see here. There was one here. And so that's kind of where it bounced off of there. And then once it bounces off, then you can get back in and ride it back up. And so like, it looks like it could break out again here. So I would just wait for it to have a decent. And so there's a few things, right? It pulled back strong here because it had a lot of upward motion before it, but with very little dips. But I would say now that it's dipped and come back up a few different times here, it may not have a 25 or 30% dip. It may only be 20%. But like this little dip here isn't enough, right? You want to look for something much bigger. And so if I was watching it, I would look for it to come back to this level where it is now, or even come back down to one of these previous levels here and then bounce off and come back up before I'd get in. So that's kind of what I'd look at. Let's see. Love Major. Yeah, absolutely. What are your thoughts on Yowie? Let's look at Yowie. Up to 178 views on Twitter alone. Thank y'all so much for coming out and watching. It's really appreciated, the support. It's interesting because I'm looking on my my StreamYard that brings in both Twitter and YouTube, and there's a comment that I see on Twitter that's not on here, unless I just missed it. So Joe had asked on Twitter, thanks for the stream. Did you record your $1,000 challenge, please? Yeah, I have some of it recorded. I have it some in clips, some in longer form and stuff like that. But I'll be putting together some more stuff on that. I need to be posting more about it. The main reason I haven't posted a ton about it is because I actually took some of the money in that wallet and I moved it over to Vector.fun, which is a new Tensor app that that's in limited beta, and I've had the ability to use it. And so that's been a lot of fun. So I moved some of that over there. And so I'll end up moving it back, and I might talk about it a little bit, but I can't actually record and live stream and show their app because it's in a limited beta right now. So that's part of the reason why I haven't right now. All right, let's see. Next question. Oh yeah, your answer for Yowie is Yowie looks dead. There's no volume on it. It's way down. Could it come back? Yes, but it's just not really doing a whole lot right now. And so, I mean, I say it's dead. It's not completely dead. It's not doing a whole lot. It doesn't give me much to say, like, I would want to get into it right now. Not a lot of volume, not a lot of attention on it. And it's in a downtrend right now. So I would watch it. I mean, if it came back up, then and it's a coin you like, you could get back into it. But for me, it's not something that I would get into. So is DLMing something that requires you to be on the computer all day? So DLMing at the level that I do it at, you would want to be on your computer watching it when you're doing it. Now, look, Dogecash is going to try to come back up. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to do it all day, because there's multiple forms of this, right? So one of the safest, easiest things that you can do for DLMMing is Sol USDC. And you can see here that this 20 bin pool is earning 1% a day, which is stupid, really, really good. And it's earning 1% a day. You can see here in the top right, this is a 20 bin. And so if you were to create this 20 bin and you would do a two-sided spot strategy here, you can see that it ranges all the way from $195 per Sol to $224. And if you look at Solana has been ranging between 200 and 225 for a long time. You can see I have the lines drawn right there. It's been doing it now for 6 days. It's moved up into this range, and it's been doing that. And of course, before that, it even ranged a little bit. And so what you would do is you would just do this, and as it bounces between them, if it ends up getting close to one side or the other here on your pool, you would just close it out and reset it. And so you can earn 1% a day, which is stupid numbers, right, compared to traditional finance on Sol USDC. And you can set it up like this. And so you don't need to be watching your chart all the time. You'd maybe want to check it once or twice a day. But you wouldn't need to be on it all the time to be able to do something like this. There's also certain coins that maybe a Fred, maybe a higher cap coin, something like a GOAT or whatever that you're going to DLMM that's going to do pretty good. But you're not worried about it in the long haul, because even if it goes down a decent amount, it's going to come back up. And so you may DLMM something like that, where you don't need to watch it all the time. You just maybe check it once or twice a day. And so I do a combination. I don't have my Sol USDC pool here, but I did have it open for a long time. And so I'll be making another one. I'll probably just go ahead and do it right now, actually. And so I do a mix of strategies. So I do this, and I do like pools that I need to monitor and watch a little bit more. And so I do a combination of the two. It's a good question, though. I think I missed if you answered my previous question. Phone, what positions do you have right now, and what are you looking at making a position on? Yeah, I didn't answer that. I missed that. Sorry. You can see my current positions. I just made the Sol USDC one. I have Pippin, which hasn't done great. It's probably out of range. I've just been waiting for it to come back into range. Yeah, it's way out of range. So I'll need to relook at that one. I'll just close it out, honestly. And then I have Fred, which I have for the long haul here, which I may need to readjust my Fred one, but I think it might be in a decent spot. Let's see. And then I'm in and out of DLMing multiple things. So I was DLMing BitCat earlier. I have been DLMing Lester. I've been DLMing Pippin, a few different things. And so it just kind of depends. I'm in and out of a lot of different stuff. But I'm about to, once I kind of answer some of these questions, I'm actually going to go search and look and see if I can find some other coins that we're DLMing that I can actually pull up here and chat about, and we can look at live. So let's see. Yeah, BitCat was one that we were doing earlier. So we'd look for BitCat to, again, draw back before we would get into it. If it draws back, we'll see, but I think it will. I think we'll see a decent drawback to around here, but we'll see. It could come down to here. Oh, nice. Fred got a little green candle there. So let's check our Fred pool. Fred's one that I'm not worried about where it's at right now, because I think it is going to pump over the long haul. Yeah, it's just below our range. We just created this one. We're doing a one side on Fred, and so we're trying to find a good spot in which we can just leave it to go up on the one side, which this is probably a good area to do it in. So we're going to recreate it. And we're going to add it on, because I think Fred goes up in the long haul. Fred even has a chance to be one of the next ones that are listed on Binance. Not saying it will, because obviously I don't know, but I think it has a good chance to be one of the ones. We're also holding a bunch of the big coins, because like some of the larger cap coins, because I think there's a bunch of them that has a chance of going up. And so we have like Fred, we have Whiff, we have Bonk, we have Moo, we have Lucy, we have Fwog, we have Popcat, we have Michi, Happy Cat. We're actually still holding a little bit of BitCat, which is hilarious, because just from the fees, we had a little bit of fees left over on BitCat, and it was worth $350. And now in my wallet, it's worth $921. And so it's pretty crazy to see where BitCat's gone, but I just held that tiny amount just to see where it would go, where it'd go to. Yes, we're recreating this pool on Fred. So we're just going to do a one-sided, not two-sided. We're going to do a one-sided pool here on Fred. Spot strategy, we're on a 200 bin 1% pool. And we're going to set it up like this. So that way, on the way up, as Fred goes up in price, we can earn a bunch on the fees. And I imagine it'll go up and down a lot before it actually ends up pushing to the end of our range here. Just waiting. All right, transaction completed. Peanut and Fred have kind of been following each other. Just taking a look at Dogecast there. BitCat. Okay, cool. Let me answer some more questions, and then why the 1 minute chart and what filter you're using to find. So the 1 minute chart I use just because we're in meme coins, and so they move a lot. And most of the coins are somewhat newer. And so for me, it just allows me to see a more of a granular view. So like on BitCat, if I go to the 3 minute, it's going to not give me the same candles. You can see here, it looks much more or I see much less of the details. But for me, when I'm making moves off of these different ranges, I want to know the in-betweens. And a lot of these little in-betweens you don't see at the 3 or the 5 minute chart. So that's why I that's why I do it on the 1 minute. I'm actually going to sell this little bit of BitCat that I have because it's up a lot. It's dipped down a little bit, but because BitCat's dipping. Checking my Vector app. Vector Fun. Tensor created it, and they're doing a really good job with it. And it's much faster than any of the other things that I have. And so, like, obviously it's not made to just like focus on being fast, but it is fast, very fast. And I can get the price adjustments on here quicker than I can get them on Bird Eye or Deck Screener. I was just making a trade on Vector.fun, which I can't show that to y'all right now, but it's a really cool app. Once they release it, I think people are really, really going to like it. So we're looking for it to come back here. This line to me doesn't give me a whole lot of confidence. I'd like it to actually come back down to one of these lines here. This one would be pretty big if it came all the way down to here. I would definitely get in if it came back to here, but I think this one will probably be the one that we'll end up seeing. There's actually like 2 supports here that are, so, oh, I accidentally got the wrong trend. I did the trend line there instead of a horizontal line. There's kind of so somewhere between these two, because they're both kind of right next to each other. So we'll keep watching that. Is DLM for large quantities of SOL better than having SOL and JITO SOL staked? I mean, if you're DLMing, you'll earn more than if you just have it staked in JITO SOL. But you could also do JITO SOL and do like a JITO SOL DLMM. I don't know how well they do. Yeah, they're not really doing anything, honestly. Yes, I mean, I wouldn't put it in here. I mean, yeah, I would either put your SOL in here, like in a SOL USDC. You could also do like SOL JLP. If you want it to be a little more consistent, you can get like anywhere between 0.25 to 0.45% on the daily, which is still really good. That's still going to be more than like a JITO SOL or anything like that. And so it's just different. If you're just staking for the long haul, then like a JITO SOL or other LSTs and stuff like that are great options, but they're just lower. They're much lower risk, but they're also much lower return. So it's just a different strategy. It'd be better in that you'll earn more if you do this, but it's also riskier. So Fred just got back into range for me. I'll just leave it there until Binance. Yeah, that's the hope, man. But yeah, it's in a good range where it is now, hoping that it'll bounce up and come back up strong. So we'll see. Pippin has been ranging. Yeah, Pippin's been ranging great. The problem is that I got in a little bit higher, and I probably just needed to recreate the pool, and I need to make it a 2-sided because of where it's been ranging, and I've been trying to do it as a 1-sided. But yeah, Pippin's been ranging really well. It's just not. It's just been below where I got in at. So. You can see it's down. 24 hour it's down, 30 minutes down, 1 hour it's down. So I like Pippin. I think it does well. So I think it can come back up. But you can see where I was drawing lines before and where it dipped back down here. So we'll see. I'll come back to Pippin another time. Do you have a Discord or Telegram we can join? Yeah, so it's not my Discord. But the Discord that does this really well, the one that I've joined and that I do everything through, is called Fee Printers. I'm just a big community member and big contributor to it, but I do not own it or anything like that. So it's Fee Printers. You can, if someone will post that Discord or Twitter link, you can join go to the Twitter, and the Discord is on there. Could you explain what's best to do when the price is reaching either extreme in the DLMM? Yeah, so it kind of depends on what your goal is. So like with SOL USDC, I'll just close the pool and I'll recreate a new one with a new range. But for meme coins and stuff like that, like I did earlier, I'm not sure if you saw it, but there was a pool that was in Dogecast here. and I had drawn this line. And so as soon as it broke below this, I said, I'm going to get out of it because it's below the area that I want. And it was also out of my range. And I just got out and sold, and I took the loss. The reason I did that is because I'll have many more wins, and I don't want to just hold on to a dream and hope that it comes back up. And even if I did hold on to it, it would have come back up a little bit. Maybe I could have made a little bit back, but you can see it's coming back down again. Once it breaks below that line, it's pretty hard for it to come back up very quickly. Sometimes they do, but it's not as often. And so I said, you know what, I'm just going to get out of it. No need for me to ride it, take the loss in that case. On the way up, the other extreme, when we're looking at BitCat, with BitCat, again, it's gone way up. With BitCat, I could have held it, and I would have made way more than if I DLMM'd. The thing is that there's also like 5 coins yesterday that were doing the same thing BitCat was doing as far as what it was doing. And then it got to like 20 mil or 25 mil, and then it dumped, and it's now sitting at like 10 mil, right? And so they don't always do what BitCat did here. And so you can't say, oh, well, what could have been? And so what I do is when it reaches the extreme, we got in down here somewhere, I can't remember where, on the pump. We rode it for a while. It got to the end of the extreme, and I just sold it. I closed the pool because I said, you know what? It could keep going up, but it also could come down here. I don't want to recreate it and lose out on some of the profits I had made. I literally made like, I forget what it was, like 57% profit, or, oh, this is our Lester one. I forget what it was. I made a stupid amount of money. And so I said, you know what? I'm just going to close it out, take my profit, and move on. And I can always enter back into it. Like here, if it ends up dipping down into one of these ranges here, which I think is very probable, then I could get back into it on the way back up, and I can earn more money later. So there's no need for me to like FOMO on what it's going to do. And so either extreme, I usually am closing out because it's not doing what I wanted it to do. The only reason I rebalanced the Sol USDC pool is because I'm holding Sol long-term anyway. And I'm like, it's okay if it goes down. I'm just going to end up having more Solana, and I believe it's going to come back up anyway. And so I'm holding Sol for the long term. So that one is why I keep rebalancing, and I let the amount of Solana I have grow over time doing it that way. Any idea what happened to not being? Yeah, so I actually posted about it. It sucks, but there's a lot of really good names and trusted guys that I liked in that group, which is why I was pretty big on not being. But in the space, especially when there's a lot of money, all the bad actors and all of the scammers come out. In this instance, this guy had actually been on Twitter, in Discords, made friends, done different stuff for 2 years, which is kind of crazy. And then decided that this was the time that he was going to scam people, and decided to get out. And so it sucks. Obviously, it happens. There's bad actors in the space. Things happen. You can't predict them. It's just part of it. And so that's what happened in this instance. He ended up just being someone that scammed a bunch of people. I didn't know the exact guy that did the art and everything. I just knew a bunch of the people that were in it and supporting it. And they were guys that I really like. And so anyway, that's what ended up happening to not being. It sucks. It happens every now and then. A bunch of them lost like $15,000. I had 5,000 in it, and I think I pulled out like 500 or something by the time I saw that it was dumping. And so ended up losing a little bit there as well. Which is why when you get into coins like that, you should have a lower percentage, because it had only hit a mil, and it was even times where it was a little bit below that. And so on coins that are super low market cap, you shouldn't be putting in like a huge amount of money, right? Like it's better to just put in a little bit. We're watching BitCat here. So part of this is like, okay, it bounced off of this one. It did come a little bit below it, but it bounced off of it. But just because it starts coming up doesn't mean that you want to get into it yet. Could it keep coming up? Yes. But many times, like you can see here, it comes up and then it comes down again. So we want to watch it, and we want to actually start to see it create higher highs and higher lows before we get in. Of course, if it just starts ripping up and it comes up into this range, then we'll probably that could be a good time to buy in, because it's showing that it's got a lot of upward movement. But as of now, that's not looking like what it's going to do. So we're going to draw another line here and see and wait. We need to wait for this candle to close out. I guess I'll wait to draw the line and see where it goes from there. So Starlighter, Discord is fee printers. They have X as well. Yeah, I've missed the one-sided strategy. Would you be able to get into a little more detail again? Yeah, so I mean, the one-sided strategy, I'll just say it simply because I've said it a few different times today. But the strategy is simply, if you think it's going down temporarily, like in BitCat here, you could have said, all right, it's coming down, but I think it's going to end up coming back up over the long haul. You can set up a one-sided sold pool. As it dips, you'll buy into it. And then once it hits a support, you think it's going to come back up, you can close it out. You'll now have a bunch of that token, and then you can set it up one-sided going the other way. It's also called dollar cost averaging. And so you're basically buying it on the way down. So you're buying it at 0.067, 0.065, so on and so forth. And then you can sell it back on the way up, and you can earn fees while you're doing that, right? So there's a few different strategies behind it, but that's the gist of it. It does look like it might have a lot of upward momentum right here. So we're just kind of waiting to see what it's going to do. There's not really any lines here for me to draw outside of like this one up here. But at this point, it may not be the best to get in if it breaks above right there. So we either have to make a decision whether we think it's going to go up now or just wait to see if it dips again. I'm personally going to wait. I don't want to rush into it and get FOMO again. If it ends up ripping up, great for it. But buying in at the right time is important. And so I don't want to buy in right here and then have it come back down and be sitting at a loss. I'll wait to see whether it's going to rip back up or if it's going to come back down first. Based on previous history, I think it'll probably come down first, but we'll see. I'll answer some more questions. The Sol USDC DLM, I recall you saying 1% pool, meaning we need to select specific the 1% before putting the liquidity. No, so like you would just select this Sol USDC pool. This is a 20 bin. The bin is basically the short version of it is this is how tight of a range you want to put your money in. But there's a lot more complexity to it than that. But that's the gist. It's a 0.2%. I'm just saying that the 24-hour fee is estimating around 1% that you'll earn. You don't enter any of that in. That's just what you're seeing is happening. And so you can see I'm earning 1.16% right now because there's a little bit more volume. It looks like Sol's pumping up just a little bit. And so I'm earning fees off of Solana moving up. And I'm earning 1%. So that's what the 1% is. Would you mind doing a... with the Sol USD deal, would you mind doing a cal for 10 Sol? What are you asking for, Harry? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Could you explain how to properly rebalance? I mean, it's simple, right? So if this goes up and it reaches around the 80-90% range on either side, pushing to the extreme, I would literally just withdraw, close, and then I would go add position and I'd re-add a new position. If I needed to buy more Sol, or like if it's down or up, whatever, if I need to buy more Sol or more USDC, I'll do that. Or you could just leave it with how much you currently have and set it up that way also. But yeah, it's literally just closing it out and creating a new position where the range is different. Because like right now, my range is 195 to 224. But if I created another pool right now, it would be 198 to 227, right? So you would just recreate it. And when you do the autofill and everything, it'll automatically set it up for you based on the 20 bin. And you just create it just like that. Pretty simple. I'm curious, why don't you use HawkFi and auto compound and rebalance for the Sol USDC pool? I could. I'm on all the time. And if you're able to check it here and there with Sol USDC pool, you don't need to have HawkFi rebalance it for you. HawkFi is great if you don't want to have to look at it and you want to let it rebalance it. The thing is that HawkFi takes 8% of the profit that you make. And that 8% is more valuable to me because I'm already spending the time on here. If your time is more valuable to you and you don't want to spend the time doing it, that 8% might be worth it for you. HawkFi is a great product. We love the team. It's just up to you based on what you need. There's not a one right solution for all these different things, right? Some of the stuff I do may not work for what you do. I'm just telling you what I do. That's all I can do, right? So you have to decide that for yourself, yeah. So can you daily compound as well? Yeah, you can. That's the great thing. So I've showed people before. I'll create a little calculator. I'll pull up this little calculator here. Oops. This one. And so I give people a great example of this. If you have $1,000 and you're earning 1% a day for 1 year, and you do it 7 days a week, and you reinvest 100% of it every single day. I love showing people this because most people don't do this. Very few people probably consistently every day compound the interest they make. But if you have $1,000 and you compound it every day for 1 year, every single day for 1 year, 365 days, you'll go from $1,000 to $37,783. So you can literally take $1,000 on a super consistent strategy like this, compound, and in 1 year, you'll go from 1,000 to 37,000. And so it's really, really cool because you don't have to do all the crazy stuff. If you just stay consistent, you can build up your money over time, and it could work really well for you. So consistency is key. Compounding is key. Being on daily, doing things like that is really, really important. In which cases should we use the bid-ask strategy? Great question. So bid-ask is basically, so both bid-ask and curve are very specific strategies, okay? Spot is kind of an all-around general strategy. So this spot strategy here, generally it's good. I use spot strategy 90% of the time. If I'm in a coin and I think that it's going to sit around the middle more often than the edges, then using a curve strategy is better because most of your liquidity is going to be near the middle here. And so if it kind of just bounces between this range here, it would make more sense to have a curve strategy over a spot. Or a bid-ask strategy does the opposite. If you're in a coin that when you enter in, it's just like swinging really heavy to one side or the other, then a bid-ask strategy could be better because the liquidity is less concentrated in the middle and more concentrated at the edges. And so this would be good for really high volatility coins, which you can actually read. It'll tell you this strategy, basically tell you what I'm telling you right here. And then spot is just a good overall strategy that you can use. Thank you for going live. Yeah, for sure, all day, Dre. DLMM doesn't have Zap feature. I'm not sure what Zap is, Nameless. Can you tell me what that is more? What about the IL and the Sol USD strat? So Jihad Offspring, I consider impermanent loss on every single token because for most tokens, if you end up having impermanent loss, it's not great. For me personally, I don't even consider impermanent loss for Sol USDC. And the reason why I don't consider it is because I'm buying and holding Sol when it dips anyway. Like in the long haul, if this chart goes down, I'm going to end up having more Solana. And that's good because I want to hold it in the long term because I believe it's going to go up in the long term. So I'm not really worried about the impermanent loss of having the token go way down. In other cases with other coins, I do worry about that. And so that's why once it pushes to the end of my range, I just say, hey, I'm going to take the loss. I'm going to close it out and move on. But for Sol USDC, that's not something I really worry about. Bitcoin, Bitcart. Oh, Bitcat, is that what you mean? Oh yeah, Bitcat is ripping up. So we could have gotten in when we saw it after it bounced off this. You know, I talked about it taking a good dip and coming back up. We could have, and we'd be sitting really good. But again, for me, with my risk strategy, I didn't want to get in right here until I watched it maybe dip down again. So we'll see what happens here. It could test off of the all-time high and come back down, and then maybe we'll get back in. Or it could break above here, in which, you know, obviously it could break out and it could do really well. Again, it's not one that I'm going to risk it on right now, even if it does, but you could get in if it broke above, expecting it to go much higher. So you kind of just have to decide, but we'll see. It might come back down as well. Zap. So say Sol USDC DLM, I can just say, I can just Sol and it auto convert my Sol into USD for the position instead of needing to say 10 Sol in 2K. I'm not sure what you mean, but if you mean they have this autofill here. So like, let's say I want to put in 10 Sol. It'll automatically fill this side to 2,600 USDC. Or if I want to put in 1,000 USDC, it'll adjust to the 37 Sol over here. And that's obviously not like a perfect 50-50 ratio because my pool is off right here. And the percentages for my pool are a little bit different as well. But either way, it will convert it. I don't know if that's what you mean. Do you know if 1 Jito Sol equals 1 Sol? They're not exactly. Jito Sols were slightly more than 1 Sol. But I don't know exactly the conversion. All right, let's see if we can find something to DLMM. My goal whenever I do these is for educational purposes. My goal is not to like have you copy trade me or anything like that, but we do like to show y'all live kind of how we find stuff and what we do. So I'm going to go into the Discover channel on Fee Printers, and I'm going to see if I can find any coins more recently that people are talking about. And if you've seen anything that's looking like it's doing good with good volume, let me know on Discord or in Twitter as well. And literally, just because I look up a coin here doesn't mean that it's good. I'm literally just looking at random coins that I see pop up, and we're going to try to find some that look like they could be good. And I'm literally just in the Discover channel. Anybody can do this. I'm not sure why that's working like that. Okay. So there's not a lot of volume on this. I'm not sure about this coin, so we won't be doing anything with that. We'll move on to the next one. Any coins that are like under $1 million, I'm not even going to look at. There's a bunch of those as well. That's under $1 million market cap. I want to find some that are better than that. I haven't looked at OBOT in a while. Let's see how OBOT's doing. This one also doesn't have great volume, not really moving a whole lot. So we'll check out OBOT here. And basically what I do is the first thing I look at is what does the chart look like and how much volume does it have? And so if it doesn't pass any of the initial criteria of me looking at the chart and the volume, OBOT's actually on the way up right now, then I'm not worried about it. So like OBOT has 350K on the 30-minute, which is okay. I'd like it to be a little bit higher. It's dipped down a lot, and so we're not going to get into it right now because it's taken a pretty big dip. But like many coins, we will watch it at some point and see. I need to zoom in more here. If it were to break, it's testing this line here. The next one would actually be all the way up here. So we'd want it to break out above one of those, unless that's the all-time high. That's a pretty big jump. It's weird because it dumped pretty fast and pretty heavy. So we'd actually look for it to come above like one of these two lines here or here. But yeah, OBOT's not great right now. So we'll keep watching that. You can see Big Cat is coming back down. Again, like we could have gotten in here, but if we got in here and we were holding, we'd already be back to a break even. So like this little bit of growth isn't really anything to like write home about. I'd rather get in at a good time. So we're going to wait and see if it comes down even more and kind of follow it from there. Dogecast, again, like it came down and I sold. It's come up a little bit and kind of ranged here, but it's still not sitting great. It did create a new support. You can see multiple times it's bounced off of that. And these are some highs as well that it's bounced off of here. And so we'd look for it to start to create a new trend and break up above some of these lines before we get back into Dogecast as well. Let's see here. I'm going to check out some more of the questions in just a minute. I'll also be scrolling on Twitter, seeing what people are talking about there. Martify apparently has some crazy volume. Let's take a look. What do y'all think about Martify? For the guys in the Discord, anybody DLMMing it? Does it seem good? We'll let this load and see what pulls up here. It's at 2.1 mil. I think it's dipping a little bit, so we'll have to make sure that it's good. Oh, this is like really new. I can't even see the volume on it. Keep watching Big Cat. This is good if it's here because it's showing it's doing a higher high and a lower low. If it ends up bouncing up here, that could be a good sign. As it moves up, we might get back into it. We'll keep watching that. So Martify is doing 8 million on the 30 minutes. So this has got some sort of stupid volume. I have no idea what the narrative is. Let's click on Twitter and see what's going on here. A new crypto trend called Martify is minting millions from dead or killed animal memes, with tokens like Peanut and Fred hitting market caps up to 2 million. Wait, Fred has not hit anywhere close to 2 billion. Obviously Peanut has, but the fact that they mentioned Fred, that's actually really bullish on Fred also, just so you know. But Martify actually could do well considering people are talking about it. This is like super degen. We're at like 1.72 mil. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to buy a small amount of this, and we'll see what it does, because it's got really, really high volume. And so for me, my portfolio is like over 100K. And so for me, if I do like 5 SOL, this is considered a small amount. For you, it may end up being, half a SOL or whatever, right? You need to determine that based on your portfolio, right? So I'm going to do 5 SOL, and we're going to buy some of this Martify. See if we can get it to go through. The slippage is kind of crazy. And we're going to try to DLM this live. Again, don't just get into this because I'm talking about it. Make sure that you're managing your own risk portfolio. This is a small amount that I'm putting into it, or attempting to put into it. Coinbase talked about this, so people are picking it up, and there's 3 pools. So what we're going to do while we wait on trying to get into this, it's actually dipping a good bit. Let's refresh here and see if we can get into it. It's like super new, so just be careful. Again, super degen. We're going to put 5 SOL on the spot, not autofill. Let's refresh that. Guess it's a good thing we didn't get in it yet, because it dipped a little bit. And the goal of this isn't to make like a ton of money from it, like going up to like 5 mil, even though obviously it could do that. The goal of this is just to try to collect as much fees as possible because of the crazy amount of volume. And we want to try to get out on the high side, but it's okay if we don't. And we're having a lot of trouble buying it. So that's what we're doing here. So we're having trouble buying it because it's so popular right now. I'm actually going to go on my Vector Fi app and see if I can grab some. Wait, did it just die? Or is this, that's not the right one, huh? Oh yeah, it's not the right one. I was looking at the wrong one. And so I can actually just set up a pool like this. Hold on, let me cancel this too. Sometimes it can be difficult to get into these. Let me refresh this. Let's try to get into this again. All right, this one should work. But if not, we're going to set up a pool here. Like, come on. And so what we can do is we can add this, and as it dips, we'll actually end up buying more into it as well. Obviously, I'm struggling to get into it, but we'll see. I should have, yeah, no, this is right. 5.7, yeah. Always use the CA when you're doing this kind of stuff, because there could be other names and stuff like that. I'll answer some of y'all's questions in just a minute. I'm just trying to get this trade through so y'all can see how I do it. Oh wait, did I buy it? I think I did buy it. I just think it didn't show up. No, it must have just gone through here. Okay. Let's refresh this and see if we can get it there. Sometimes it's hard to get it through on these, but it's super high volume coins. So that's why I want to try to get in. What does it see of this new token you just bought? This is the CA, not financial advice. Don't just buy it because I'm doing it. This is just an example, me trying to show you what I'm doing here. See if I can buy it. I don't want to get super hit hard with slippage. Obviously, I could increase the slippage to be able to get into this, but I also don't want to buy the token at a terrible price because of that slippage. So it is moving up a little bit. Hopefully we can get in here. I wasn't able to buy it as it dipped down, so I need to close this out and try to open it again. See if we can buy some. Man, this is just not going through. It's crazy. Come on, Marty. I know it's not the most exciting watching me trying to make this trade, but we'll see if we can get it to go through. Well, now it's dipping. And this coin could do not well over the long haul. In the amount of time it's taken me to do this, I could have been earning a lot of fees that I haven't been able to earn. So we'll see. We'll see what it looks like. Oh, it just dipped pretty hard. We'll wait. We're not getting in, not doing what we want it to do. So we'll just wait on this. Yeah, we'll wait on it. Let's see if we can find something else. Do you know why I can't access 30-minute volume on Bird Eye? Only lets me see. That's weird. I'm not sure. You should be able to click on the 30-minute here to be able to see the volume. I'm not sure why it wouldn't let you do that. BitCat looks like it's moving up again, but it's ranging in here. If BitCat comes back down to this range and starts to bounce back up, I'll definitely get back in because it seems like it's started to create a pretty good range right here, but we'll see what it does. Dogecast is ripping back up, which is pretty good. I might get back into Dogecast here. Can actually buy into this coin. Marty 5 still in somewhat of a downward trend, so we'll see if it starts to move up a little bit here. Maybe a little bit of a blessing in disguise. We weren't able to get into it yet. Didn't let me get into that position either. We are up to 271 views on Twitter. Thank y'all so much, not including the ones on YouTube. You can select any ETF on a DLMM pool from Bird Eye. You got to select the entire pool, not just the DLMM. You can't select any ETF on DLMM from Bird Eye. You got to select the entire pool, not just the DLMM. Yeah, I mean, you can select a Meteora pool with from the actual, you can go to the Bird Eye pool or one of the other ones from the Meteora pool. And I'll show you where that's at here. So right here on the left, you can see pool chart. I can actually click on this specific pool, not just the overall pool. And you can click on like Bird Eye here, Gecko Terminal, Dex Tools, Dex Screener, stuff like that. So I did buy this, right? Yeah. I need to sync. This pool's slightly out of sync, but it's only slightly off. It wasn't registering that I had the Dogecast coin in my wallet. I did. I mean, it showed that I bought it. Did I buy the right one? That's why it's good to use the CA. You never know. it shows that I have the coin. Solana might be struggling, right? Oh, I'm an idiot on that one. I hope I bought some. It's moving up a good bit more. Oh, I don't have any. Okay. It just didn't let me buy. I thought it did, and it didn't. It's unfortunate because now it's moving up higher. But honestly, it's just being really slow right now, which happens sometimes. It happens. Hey, if you have any other questions, please let me know. Soul, welcome, man. Glad you're here. Again, thank you so much for everybody that's here, that's watching. If you have any other questions or curious about how, why I do something, please let me know. Doge Cash is definitely pushing up here, which is really good. It's a little bit of a shame that I thought I bought some. It even showed like the numbers, but I didn't actually buy it because we were going to set up a one-sided and we'd be sitting pretty good right now, earning a lot of fees. I think we'll be all right either way, but it's actually dipped down a little bit here. And I want to make sure if I do a one-sided that I'm getting in at the right time. I might just do a two-sided, honestly, just to cover my bases. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and do that. We'll just set up a two-sided in case it dips again. And we're on a 200 bin 2%. It's a decently wide range. It's moving up right now. So even though it's a 2% pool, the cool thing about DLMMs is that they're dynamic. And so the dynamic fee is actually 7.6%, which is really good. So the fees on this are going to be really, really good. You can also look at the 30-minute volume on this is 3.5 million for a 12 million market cap coin or whatever it's at now. That's like really, really good. Big cap is dipping again. So we'll watch for a good entry there. Fred's chilling. Major's doing pretty good. It had come down, but it's starting to pick back up again. This Martify coin is still sitting decent. We're going to keep watching it. I want it to come up a little higher before I get back into it. So we created a two-sided pool for Dogecast here. We're in about $9,600 total. And it's what we did was we waited for it to ping off the bottom. It showed multiple supports, and then we were looking for it to have higher highs and for it to break above these lines here, which you can see that it did, showing it was breaking above the previous highs. And that's when we got in. And now you can see it's pushing up. Now at some point it'll probably come back down a little bit, but what it's going to do is it's going to create a new range higher up than this lower range here. And that's where we want to be collecting fees for the DLMM. So that's why we did what we did there. I think that this was happening earlier today. I don't know if it's just Meteora or a combination of Meteora and Jupe and Solana kind of struggling. There we go. Because I've had to refresh to get it to update, but we're already earning over 999% on the 24-hour fees. As it moves up and down, we'll collect both Dogecast and Solana. So we'll come back to that. Big Cat does look like it's dipping, so we'll look for an entry there. Let's see here. Read the names of the top holders of Marty. Read the names? I have no idea. You can't see the names. You can look at the top holders. There's 20%, but Radium owns 6% of it. Yeah, so Martify, the volumes died down a lot. The tokens died down. So the whole point of getting into one like this, you get in with a small amount, and then you look for the high amounts of volume to collect fees, and then you get out. They had some soul domains there with sketchy names. Gotcha. And so this coin probably isn't going to end up working out well. So it's fine that we didn't get in. It's a riskier coin, but there's many coins like this that we get into, we farm them, and then we get out around where we got in, or even catch them on the high side and we make a lot of money. So that's just like a short strategy we do. It didn't work out on this one, so I'm going to move on from it, but that's what I was looking to do. So we'll see if there's any other coins that pop up that people mention. This is interesting. So someone just posted this on Twitter. Satoshi Era Bitcoin wallet moves 2,000 BTC, which is worth $178 million for the first time since 2010. Somebody finally, people said someone finally remembered their password, I guess. That's funny. That's pretty crazy. Not sure what that means, but yeah, Satoshi era meaning an early wallet. Yeah, not Satoshi's wallet, but an early era wallet since 2010. That's crazy. I feel like there's nobody, no matter who they are, that wouldn't have sold or moved this at all. I feel like this is somebody who finally found their wallet or something. Let's get back to Dogecast. Got to refresh here. It's moved up a little bit from where it's showing here. I just need to refresh it. My mic is not off. Somebody was asking on Discord. Yeah, it wouldn't be. Yeah, I mean, it could mean that somebody was wanting to sell it. Who knows? I don't think it's. I'm not worried about when people see that kind of stuff. But yeah, Doge Cash is doing good. Let's look at the pool here. The token actually hasn't moved very much at all. You can see it's just sitting like in the sideways movement here. And so we actually haven't earned a lot of fees, but as soon as it start moving again, we will. I think it's just slightly delayed. Yeah, you can see a lot of these coins are like that. Sometimes you get these little blips where the network is just so overloaded that, yeah, the network's so overloaded that it doesn't register. Just looking at Twitter. So what I do is I'll go on Discord. I'll look for some different coins. We go on Twitter, try to find some good options. Yeah, Major's still doing pretty good right now on the way up. Let's go back and look at Leicester. I think Leicester might be moving pretty good. I saw someone talk about it. Leicester is one that we like DLMMing if it's at a good spot. It had come down pretty heavy. And so if it's up, yeah, it looks like it's up a good chunk right now, actually. Could be good to get back into it. We'll take a look. Bird Eye will load it. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it was down a whole lot, Leicester was. So the fact that it's moving up is good, but it's still not at a point where I'm super comfortable with it. I want to see it create new highs and or higher highs and higher lows, and then break back above like one of these lines right here before I get interested in it, maybe even this one. So we'll keep watching Leicester. It looks like it could be good down the line, so we'll just have to keep watching it. Fred's kind of still just doing its thing, chilling. Doge Cash is dipping a little bit, which is good. I'm glad that I created a two-sided pool. Like I said, it's still possible after it came up to where I wanted it to for it to dip again. But the goal is that it would continue to range a little bit higher than it did before. BitCat looks like it might be starting to move up a little bit, but we're going to wait again. I want to see if BitCat bounces down off of one of these lower ranges and starts to come back up, and then we'll get into it. All right, let's see what we can find here. So yeah, this is what I do to find stuff. I basically go on here and look on Twitter. look on Discord, basically just in the trenches trying to find what's good, what people are talking about, and then go in and grab it and DLM it from there. So yeah, it seems to be bouncing off that resistance there, so that's good. Seb Monty, who does videos, I'd gone on live with him, and he actually just dropped like 30 minutes ago his like the video of us. A lot of people are talking about Vector Fun. It's pretty cool. People talking about BitCat. Yeah, I think BitCat might be the next one that we DLMM so far. I'm not seeing a lot of new stuff, and there's still a lot of good volume on this. We're still at like 10, 12 million. And so I'm going to let it dip down a little bit here. And then once it bounces back, I think I'm going to look to get into that because it looks like BitCat's going to be the best one as far as volume. If there's any other coins people have or want me to check out, please let me know. Let me pull up the questions here. I've been searching, so I haven't had them up in a hot minute. People move from Lester to BitCat, I guess. Yeah, potentially. What are your thoughts on Major? Still holding? Yeah, so I still hold a big bag of Major. I think Major does really, really well. It hit a new all-time high today. Almost reached 100 mil. It was like 92 mil or something like that. It took a dip back down. Obviously, people are taking profits off of this big up, this increase, and then it's going to go sideways again like it did here before I think it'll break out again. So I'm holding Major for the long term. I've been holding since it was like 4 mil, and I've DCA'd out of it. But like I've been selling as it's gone up because I think that's smart to take profits. But I still hold like $20,000 worth of Major. So and I'm holding most of that. I might DC out a little bit more if it gets to like 125 or 150 million, but I'll hold most of it for the long haul. So at this point, I've taken enough profit. I think I've probably made like 30 or 40K, maybe more off of it. And we bought in at 15K, like at like 4 or 5 mil, whatever it was at. Yeah, Doge Cash is still doing good, coming back up. We probably can check the pool now. It's probably earning some decent fees. Thoughts on Boo? I haven't looked at Boo in a while. Boo was one that I liked, but then after it had gotten some FUD for the art thing from Fwog, I hadn't checked on it in a hot minute. So let me see. I really like Boo. I like the art and stuff like that. I think if it didn't have the FUD that it did, it could be doing pretty good, but I'll have to take a look. I forgot I had my smoothie here. I'm also going to get on this Vector app and see if I can find anything good here. Has anybody been watching Blob? I don't know if it's good to DLMM, but it might be good. So Boo has been sitting around this 12 million for a while now. It's got 50K volume on the 30 minutes. So Boo's probably just a mediocre DLMM ride. As far as long term, I think it could do well, but it is down right now. So I probably wouldn't get into it, even though I do like the art and the narrative and everything that they're doing. I just think a lot of the hype around it died with the FUD. And so we'll have to see how it does. But it's not one that I think I'd want to get in right now. So we're watching BitCat dip some more. This is good. We want to see it bounce off of one of these ranges down here and start to come back up, and then we'll get into it and we'll DLMM it. Yeah, Lester's still doing okay. Fred's doing okay, dipping down a little bit there. So we'll keep watching BitCat. Asher, it's not a good entry yet, but the goal will be for it to be a good entry. So we'll just wait to see where it bounces off of before getting back into it. It's actually starting to create a downward trend here. So we'll have to kind of see what it does. I think we're not going to enter into it right now, probably not within the next 10 minutes or so. It just kind of depends on what it looks like for sure. What do you think the Met airdrop will look like? I'm super excited about the Met airdrop. So like if you take your wallet, you can enter it in here. You just go to fees under metlex.io and enter it. And it'll actually go through your rewards here. And it'll pick up all the pools. Well, I say that. Let's do a hard refresh on Metlex. And it'll actually show you kind of how much rewards you've earned, right? Now, this doesn't tell you how many points you're going to earn or your position or anything like that. Might be glitching right now. Normally it would show here, but there are certain sites. We have one that AK, one of the guys in the Discord, made that will tell you how many points you have. I think maybe my wallet's breaking the site because it's not working. It's supposed to show the rewards up here. Anyway, we've earned a lot on the rewards, which comes from the fees. Bitcat entry, no, not yet. People keep asking that in Discord, but you don't ever want to buy something when it's just falling down. You want to wait for it to bounce off of something and start to show support, which it could be doing here. We'll wait and see. It could do it lower. If it starts to move back up, that could be a good sign and we may get back in. But also, if you look at what it's currently doing, it's in a downtrend, right? So it's actually lower highs and lower highs and lower lows and lower lows. And so even if it bounces off of here and comes up a little bit, that won't give me enough confidence. I'd actually want to see it break above this line here to show that it's going to have a higher high than its previous. Or if it breaks down even lower, I'd look for it to come back up and break above the previous high. So that's what we're looking for. How much Fred am I holding? I think I hold like 12K. Yeah, around 12K. It's dipping right now though, so we'll see. That'll go down. It's going to keep fluctuating, which is fine. Why did you enter major and end up holding a bag? Like, Nameless, are you asking why did I enter into it when it was at like 4 or 5 mil originally? Is that what you're asking? If that's what you're asking, the reason why is because one, it had already made it to 4 or 5 mil, which only like less than 1% of coins do. Okay, that is what you're asking. Two is that I really liked the narrative in the art. It's a cute character. The narrative around conspiracy theories and stuff like that is really big. And the narrative around animals dying by, the government or by somebody or being euthanized or whatever has been like really big. And so the fact that it was around conspiracy theories, which I think a bunch of crypto people, the reason they're in crypto is because they don't trust regular finance in the first place. And so a lot of people that are in crypto kind of believe in some sort of conspiracy theory. So I was like, all right, this is relatable. It's fun. It's cute. And it had already done well enough to get to that 4 or 5 mil. And then I reached out because I saw people talking about it that I knew and that I trust that I think are really solid. And all of them were like, this team is really good. Like everything about this, we really like it. I talked to some of the people that were early investors and they told me that all the tokens were vested for like 9 months to a year. They kind of showed me some stuff. So I looked at the tokenomics. So all of those things combined, and I was like, yeah, this is big. So I bought a big bag of it very early on and held it and just sold a little bit like on the way up. But all of that kind of combined is why. Because I thought you just sell in the DM when it's up. Yeah, so I do a combination of stuff. So I don't only DLMM. This is a large part of what I do. But I also, if there are certain meme coins that I think are good that I want to hold, I'll just hold them. And if they don't make sense to DLMM because there's not enough volume, I'll just hold them. I don't know if you can see my wallet over in the top right, but if you can't, I am in Major, I'm in Whiff, I'm in Bonk, I'm in Mumu, I'm in Lucy, I'm in Fwog, I'm in Popcat, I'm in Pippin, I'm in Michi, I'm in Happy Cat. And so these are all coins that I'm in. I'm in Fred, right? And so I hold a little bit of all of these because as the market moves, a lot of these will go up together, or sometimes one will grow a little higher or a little faster than the other one. So I wait for these coins to make big moves and then I sell them. And I just sit on them, which I think is smart right now in the market we're in. In a bear market, that's not the best idea. But in the market we're in now, it is. And also by holding those, I'm kind of getting exposure in case any of these get listed to Binance, right? Because that would obviously make them pump and we make a good amount of money off them. Yeah, All Day Dre has some locked contracts you can look at on Major on Streamflow. So yeah, it's good stuff. We're going to keep looking at Twitter here and see if we can find any other tokens people are talking about. I see something where someone's talking about Magic Eden airdrop in 3 days, but I'm like, they're doing the tokenomics in 3 days. I think people have their information wrong. I'm pretty excited about the Me airdrop, but I'm more excited. Oh yeah, someone had asked me about the Met airdrop earlier. So Meteora is built by Jupiter. Jupiter is an amazing team that's done a lot. You can see the initial Jupiter airdrop and how well that went for people that got in early. And so I think Meteora is going to be very generous, just like they were on Jupiter. But I think the Meteora airdrop could even be better because it's hard. It's hard because it takes skill. People on Jupiter, it took no skill. It just took people swapping, people using the platform, and that was it. But on Meteora, it's hard to make money. And so I think if you're able to, however much money you have, if you're able to do well with it and make a good amount on fees, I think you're going to end up seeing a pretty good airdrop. So I'm super excited about the Meteora airdrop. I don't know when it'll be. I wouldn't be surprised if it was like sometime in Q1 of 2025, but we're going to keep doing this and just building up over time. And so I think we're going to end up seeing a pretty good drop. So I'm really excited for that. Magic Eden drop, I'm not so sure about. It's one that, there's a bunch of people that use Magic Eden back in the day. And so there's a lot of people. I actually have like 400,000 diamonds from using it, which is like obviously a pretty good chunk. But even that, there's people with like millions of diamonds, so like I'm definitely not in like the higher end on that. So I'm hoping that I'll still get a good amount, but we'll see. I don't expect like super high things from it, but even a little bit of a kickback will be good. So that's what I think of the Me airdrop. But the Me one is probably going to come sooner. And I think that it could produce a lot of fees. We'll be DLMing Me for sure. Try to get in early on it. Because I'm going to get the Me airdrop, I'll already have the tokens as well. So I'll probably create like a two-sided pool that's like really, really wide, like a 400 bin, and try to capitalize off of that. All right, let's see here. We will DLMM our Met airdrop. Yeah, absolutely. That's the goal. I imagine like all the people that are going to be getting their Met airdrop are going to want to DLMM it. So like I think there's going to be a lot of that, which I think will be good. I think it's going to help with the consistency of it. Dogecast seems to be doing good. Let's look at how much we're earning on Dogecast. 135%. That's not bad. Right now, it's honestly like the volume's not crazy on it. It's got a lot of this kind of small sideways action, and we're still earning 135%, which is really, really good. You can see with the 9K that we have in there, you can see we're about back to even, maybe a little bit on the higher side, and we've already earned over half a soul as well as a bunch of the Dogecast coin. So we're doing pretty good. We're just going to let this keep running. Bitcat's kill going down. This is why you don't just get into it off of 1 or 2 bounces, because you can see what's happened here. We want to wait for it to come down even further, bounce, and then start to come back up. We want to see it break above previous highs, which you can see there's one here. If this thing breaks below this bottom line, it's likely going to have a decent amount of free fall here. So we'll keep watching that. Why you don't stream on YouTube? I'm streaming on YouTube right now, Star Alice. You can click on my YouTube link and on my Twitter, and you can go there. I'm streaming there. Do you only use Meteora for DLMM, or wherever the coin is listed, if not, Met? If a coin is listed, it's on. You can get it on Meteora. You just have to create your own pool, which is pretty easy to do. You just go to the main page. You click create pool. it costs like $5 worth of SOL. But if I wanted to make like a major, if I wanted to make why is it doing that? There you go, major SOL pool, and I wanted to do a, 0.6%, 100 bin or whatever on major, then I could set it up right here. It gives me the market price. So I just enter that, I create it. It would cost me 0.042 SOL roughly, which is like $5. And then I could do the pool that way. So if it's listed though on Radium, you can pull it up and make a pool on here if there's not one already created. What is the difference between opening a pool yourself and opening a position in a pool? Nothing. There's no difference except that you just have to pay the small fee to create the pool. There's no benefit. There's no downside to either of them. It's just you would open a pool if there's not already one, or there's not one that's in the preferences that you would want. Yeah, you just need to pay a small fee. That's right, Nika. I make new pools all the time. There's no benefit. I don't earn anything from it if people join my pool or anything like that. It would be cool if that was the case, but Lester looks like it's trying to break back up here, which is good. It broke above this line, which is a good sign. It's starting to create an uptrend here. And so we want to see if it does another one of these before we'd maybe want to get back into it and it breaks above even higher. That'd be the goal. So we're going to keep watching Lester. BitCat does look like it might be breaking down even further. Oof, big sells. Hopefully you're not in BitCat right now. This is why we wait, because if we would have gotten in earlier, we'd be hurting real bad. Just because, unless we did like a quick little short sell, but there's a Peanut Fred pool. Wondering if it's good. I mean, maybe. The only time that you would earn fees is if people swapped between Peanut and Fred. Are you sure there's a Peanut Fred pool? Oh yeah, right here. Fred and Peanut. Peanut Fred. Yeah, I mean, they have a 125, 1%, and it's earning like 11%, which isn't bad. So, I mean, there are people swapping between it, but yeah, you could probably just do better with just a Fred pool, honestly. That's a 100 bin Fred pool that they're in, and they're earning 11%. My Fred pool has been out of range, so it's probably not very good. Yeah, it's showing 5%. It's still out of range. But if I just were to redo this, which I'm going to do, and create the one-sided again, which again, I could make a two-sided and I'd be earning fees as well. I might just make a two-sided just to collect the fees off of it. Then I'd be earning more. Dogecast is starting to come down just a little bit. It's good for volume though. It's good. So we're going to go ahead and make our new position on Fred. We're just going to do an autofill here, and we're going to do a two-sided. We want to make sure we're collecting fees on both ways. We believe in Fred in the long haul. The only downside to me doing this over a one-sided is that I'm just going to have to lock up a little bit of SOL on this side, which again is fine. I have enough SOL to be able to do that. This will end up being a pretty big pool though. So do you think there's a good idea to DLMM with multiple wallets instead of all in one? I DLMM with 2 wallets. I think you can just do it with one. It's not a big deal. It's up to you. I don't think there's a right or wrong. It kind of just depends on what you're wanting to do. So on BitCat here, we're going to wait. We want to wait for this thing to bounce. And we also want to wait for it to start to create an uptrend. So unless this thing just absolutely skyrockets all the way back up to here, we're going to wait for it to have some upward movement, some downward movement, some upward movement. And we want to see it in an uptrend of higher highs and higher lows. And if it does that, then we'll get back in once it breaks back up against a point like this one here. So we'll just have to keep watching it. We'll see what it does. Dogecast dipping a little bit, Fred dipping a little bit. Lester moving up. It's a good sign. Major's moving up a little bit. Good sign there as well. How does Win look right now? Making big move today. Well, I imagine if it's making a big move, it's probably looking good. Let's take a look and see. Also, welcome Robin Gonzalez. And I don't know if that's like your token, I mean, your wallet address or what, but welcome XJ. I'll just call you that. That's the 2 first letters. Yeah, I mean, Win is up a lot today. It's up 24% on the 24 hour, and it's up even more recent. I wouldn't buy in here because it's sitting at a local high, but I would look for it to dip back down and then come back up. It may actually be on an all-time high too. I'm not very sure, but it's ripped up a lot. Is this the all-time high before here? Let's see. Maybe so. So yeah, Win's doing good. Volume on it's okay. You could actually DLMM Win right now based on the volume. It's just under 1 million. It may be okay. It won't be amazing, but also it's probably just while the volume's high. Again, I wouldn't buy into it here, but yeah. It looks like there's a pretty strong upward movement that's trying to happen with BitCat. You could get in down here. This is the DGen play, right? Is just buying this because this is where it's pinging off the bottom, and you could do really well as it moves back up. On my 1,000 to 1 million challenge wallet, I did buy a little bit right here, just a couple $100 just in case it does come back up. But I'm not going to DLMM it. And for this wallet, I do larger amounts. And so I'm not going to buy in right now because it has a good chance that it could come back down again. So we'll just have to see. But yeah. I'm just checking my my Vector app here. We're going to buy a small amount of this Bitcoin, BitCat. I have the address here. We're going to buy a little bit of this, and we're going to start DLMMing it. And then if it goes up more, we'll buy more. It's just a little more on the DGen side. I don't recommend necessarily doing this, but I think because it dips so low and because this has so much volume and the narrative behind it, I think in this special case, it could come back pretty strong. But it could also die off here, so we'll see. And when I mean die off, I just mean dip more. So we'll try it out. Let's see. It'll be good to see kind of what it's doing with a smaller amount of my portfolio and then potentially add in later. I think we're going to do the 250 bin 5%. And we're just going to do one-sided. It's already picking up a good bit. We're just going to do a one-sided pull. And we'll see the fees that we can earn on this. Fred, you holding for longer term. Why not hold versus DLMM equal range since there is impermanent loss? I think Fred goes up in the long term, but I think it's going to go up and down in between then. And so I want to earn fees along the way. I'll close it out and potentially just write it up more without the DLMM if needed. But to me, it's a good mixed strategy of holding Fred and having it earn fees while it's moving up and down and such. So Win is still ripping. It's pretty crazy. We'll come back to this BitCat in just a little bit. Let's see here. Somebody posted a coin. We're going to check it out while we wait on this. We'll come back to Fred. Again, I think Fred's a longer term hold, so no need to keep checking on Fred. We're going to check out this low cap coin called Rex with hat. Volumes at 110K on the 30 minutes, so really not great. Obviously, it took a huge dip and is now picked back up. I'm not sure why that is, unless it was like CTO'd or something like that. Let's take a look. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make me super excited if I'm being honest. I don't really love it. And it's just obviously like the with hat play thing. And it's kind of, the chart's kind of weird that it dips so low and is now coming back up. So I would say it's not one that I would be interested in right now. Probably not advisable, not hold either. Yeah. If anybody has any other questions, please let me know. We're at 350 views on Twitter. Thank y'all so much. The fact that y'all are here watching, spending, taking time out of your day, I really hope you're learning something, that you're entertained. If anything, that's something that you're enjoying being here, because it's really appreciated that y'all come out and watch me. Obviously, we have people watching on YouTube as well, so that's awesome as well. Thank y'all. Please let me know any questions you have about the market, about what's going on, about what I think long-term, short-term, any specific coins, please let me know. We're going to keep checking these out. See, Lester's looking pretty good, but it is taking a little bit of a dip here, and that's good. Like, to me, a healthy chart, I appreciate it, Nika. Like, to me, a healthy chart isn't just a chart that's like full cent. Like this, to me, this part right here doesn't look like amazing. Even though there are some dips in it, it's good. To me, I like a chart that has a lot of dips and then strong buys back into it, right? And so for me, when I'm looking at something like this, I'm looking for it to come up, to have a little bit of fight down, to come up, have a little bit of fight down, for it to come up. And I want to see it continually doing that. And that's showing to me a really healthy, strong chart where there's people that are getting out who want to get out, but there's more people excited to get into it. And so as we see those things, that's what makes me want to get into it. And so we're going to watch if it comes back up off of another one of these and breaks above this line here, which you can see there were two previous supports. I'm going to get back into Lester because I think that's going to signify that it is actually in an uptrend, not just kind of a false uptrend or a short uptrend. It's broken above some pretty larger previous highs here, and it's doing well. So that's what we're going to look for. Dogecash still doing well. BitCat is moving on up, so that's good. I'm glad we got in when we did. You can see I created a 250 bin 5%. We're earning stupid fees. We haven't earned any BitCat because it hasn't gone down. It's only gone up, but we've already earned 0.1 SOL, which is really good considering we only have $1,000 in here, 999%. I'm going to look to see if it dips a little more again and starts to fight back up, and I might buy another 1,000 and just kind of DCA into it as it goes up like that. Lice to one Lucy. Oh yeah, I like Lucy. I hold a bag of Lucy. It's just not one that I DLMM because the volume on it isn't super high. I think it's in a little bit of a dip right now though. Let's see. Yeah, it's in a little bit of a dip right now. It had come up earlier after it had been down for a little while. You can see it was down and came up. I did sell some Lucy on my Flip wallet earlier after it had come up because I had been buying it for a while. I think I sold it somewhere around here. It's dipped back down, but I think Lucy's going to do good in the long run. I think it will continue to go up. So we'll keep watching. See, this is a good sign for Lester. I'm going to be looking for it to break above this here. Major's still doing good. Major's still on the rise. Sitting over 80 million still. Excited to watch BitCat here. Jupe price prediction of Q1 of 2025. I'm just not like, I love Jupiter. I think Jupiter is great. I think the fact that Jupe has so much token that's locked up, that with staking and stuff like that, and it still has struggled over time. I'm not sure why it struggled, but it's struggled to like break out. You would think that it'd be following Solana pretty closely, but Solana's broken out a ton and Jupe's only gone up a little bit. And so I'm not super excited. I mean, Jupe will at some point probably surprise us and have a huge breakout. But honestly, for it to hit $2, I would think that like Solana would have to hit like $300 for Jupe to hit $2. So my estimate is I would say if Solana hits an all-time high by the end of the year, which means it'd be over 260, that Jupe will probably hit $1.50. And if you're talking about the end of Q1, so we're talking about like March, April, I think that Solana could hit close to 300, and so Jupe might make it close to $2. But if I had to guess, I'd say $1.50 to $2 max by Q1. How does one start learning about DLMMs? Hey, thanks for joining. So we have a Discord. You can go on to my Twitter. And we have a Discord called Fee Printers that you can join. It's not my Discord. I'm just a big member of it, but we talk all things DLMM. We have educational videos. We have places where you can talk and ask questions. We have people that are posting things every single day. And so you can go join Fee Printers, and we are going to be able to help you out. And that's where you can learn. There's also other videos I'm sure you can find and learn, but that's the place where we are, where we're talking about it all the time. And you can come in and learn, and we'd be happy to help you. You can see all the things that we're doing. Also, just on my Twitter and on YouTube here that I'm now streaming to. I do live streams Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then sometimes on Fridays, like I am today, just kind of depending on what's going on. And so I'm doing it at least 3 times, if not 4 times a week. And obviously you can come on here and you can ask questions and learn that way as well. We're looking for BitCat to break above right here or see if it's going to bounce back down. If it bounces back down, we're going to wait and then maybe buy in a little more. If it does break above this one here, then we'll probably buy more as it breaks above another 1,000 to kind of ride it back up. Appreciate the clarity. Yeah, absolutely. Let me make sure I have my Twitter on my YouTube account. I'm not sure that I do. Let me just check that real quick. Here we go. Oh yeah, I do. It's on there. Yeah, absolutely. If anybody has any other questions, please let me know. So we're watching BitCat here to see if it's going to break above. I think it looks like it's probably going to break above here in just a moment. So I'm just watching to see if that's going to happen. And then I'm going to end up buying some more here. So we're probably going to do another 5 Solana. We'll do a 6 Solana worth now because it's a little bit more. We're going to get another 1,000 BitCat, and we're going to add it to our DLMM pool. It could break down from here, but I think it has a good chance that it's going to pump up to like the 0.65 range right here. Yeah, like it's doing right there. It keeps on fighting, so it might not break above this. We might actually see it break back down here. But either way, we're gonna add to this. Let's see. How do we want to do this? Do we want to just open a new position potentially? Yeah, let's do. We're going to do a 2-sided position here just in case it does dip down a little bit from where it is. I don't think it's going to, but we're just going to set up a 2-sided position on the same 250 bin 5% fee pool on Meteora. Is it worth it to get in Fred now? I'll take a look and see. It might be. Yeah, it looks like it is breaking up here, so that's good. Once we create this pool, we'll go back to it. Yeah, so there it goes. It's broken above. Well, I say that. If it closes out here, I thought it was closed. Yeah, it closes above this, so we're good. It'll look to maybe break out a little bit higher, so that's it, solid there. So we have 2 positions opened here. One is a 2-sided, just in case it comes back down. And the other one's a 1-sided here. I think we're actually going to add more. So we're going to add a little bit more. We're going to do 15 SOL worth because we are watching it move up here. I think this is a good point to get in at. Yeah. Let's see here. And I'll probably just add this to the other position if it lets me buy it. Just refresh it here. Someone else mentioned another coin in Discord, BTC mascot, which I think we've seen a few different mascots, but this is the alpaca one. So we're going to check that out as well. If this doesn't, that buy didn't go through, let me see if it did. It did not go through. We're actually going to wait because it may dip back down a little bit here. And then we'll get back in off of the dip. That's we'll buy the larger amount. This is doing really good volume, the mascot meta, but it is in a down dip right now after hitting an all-time high. So we're gonna watch this coin. This could be good. This would be really good for DLMMing because it's super high on the fees, but it could also just go to zero. So we're gonna watch it and see what it does and if it fights back. It's around 7 mil right now. It looks like it went up to roughly like 10 mil before bouncing back down. So we'll come back to it and see. A little bit of a dip back here, so that's good. So we're going to readjust these lines as we create some new trends here. We're going to wait to see where these end up, but this is good. We're seeing higher highs and higher lows than before. Dogecast is still looking really good, so we can go to that pool over here. Lester's looking good. Oh, Lester broke above the line that I was interested in it breaking above. It looks like it might be taking a little bit of a dip, so we're going to wait to see if it dips a little bit more. But Lester's one that we probably want to get into. The alpaca coin, the BTC meme coin, mascot coin is still dipping, so we're going to watch this one. We might get into it. We can get out of Lucy, Big Cat. So we're waiting to see where this one's going to bounce off of. Wouldn't be surprised if it bounced back off of the support that was just created here, or maybe just slightly higher. Good luck to you. It's 2:30 a.m. where I'm from. Hey, thank you so much for watching, for staying up late. And yeah, thanks for coming on. Hopefully you can join some more of our stuff in the future and learn some more about DLMMing. Have a good night. Sleep well. We are up to 376 views on Twitter. Thank y'all so much for watching. Is it worth it to get in Fred now? I never answered you. I'm so sorry, JCNT. Let me see. I'm watching a lot of coins right now. Dogecast is doing well. Lester is broken above, so we need to get into Lester now. Yeah, all-time high on views, not including the YouTube ones also. Yeah, I'll check Phil Vanzen. Welcome, by the way, Vanson. Thanks for watching. Let's see if we can get into this Lester. Looks like it might dip down a little bit here because it did. I should have gotten in a little lower, but we're kind of waiting to see what it was going to do here. We're watching BT Cat for it to bounce off of this one and to get back in when it does that. Let's go back and look at Fred to see if that's a good entrance for you. JCNT, I often stream. So I mentioned this just a little bit earlier. I stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and I stream from about when I started. It's 10:30 Central Time, which is 11:30 Eastern or 3:30 UTC is usually whenever I start streaming. And that's Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then sometime on Fridays, like I am now, I do it as well. So I would wait on Fred. Fred is hitting a bottom support here. And so you want to wait for Fred to start to move back up, I would say, to at least this point before getting back in. And that's where I would get into Fred, if anything. Fred's been pretty sporadic. It's made it look like it was going to have some bigger breakouts again, but it's kind of just died back down. So just keep watching that. You could also be watching Peanut, because Peanut will give you a good indication of what Fred is doing. Lester's doing good. Did we buy our Lester? No, oh, not Max. It didn't go through, and Lester's just pushing up even higher now, unfortunately. Come on, Lester. Watch, I'm going to buy it, and then it's going to dip. So Lester is definitely breaking out above this next line as well, or attempting to break out above this line. This really is not the best time to get in, even though I'm trying to buy it right now. And the reason why, which I may not even be able to buy it, so it may be fine. The reason why is because you really, it's pumped a lot, and it's probably going to test this and could come back down before coming back up. If it does break out above this, then it would be good to get in. But if it doesn't, it might come back down, and then that would be the better time to get in. But we've been trying to buy it since it was down here, and we've not been able to. So we might just wait and see what it does at this point. BitCat, we are watching BitCat on this support here. So we're wanting for it to start to break out and come back up. Just checking a few things over here. Let's check out BitCat here. BitCat is dumping a little bit more. I think we see BitCat go lower here because it broke above this. I think we're going to see it go lower. And then we'll end up just waiting to see if it's going to bounce off this this bottom range here, or what it's going to do before it comes back up. As long as this low is higher than this one and it starts to fight back up, then we're good. And then we want to start to see a higher high than this previous one as well. That's what we're looking for. It does look like it's starting to pump back up here, so that's good. We're going to go ahead and buy some more BitCat here. We actually are buying some BitCat as well because I created a two-sided pool, which is why I did this. I'm doing one-sided pool for Lester, waiting for a 20 to 30% pullback. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, JCNFT, no problem, man. Let's see. Can you please check Phil? All-time view, Hofstein stream. Good entry on Pippin. I'll check Pippin again and see. I'm not sure why my Jupiter is just like struggling hardcore right now. Alpaca looks like it's trying to bounce back. It's got good volume, so this could be a good one to DLMM. We're going to watch it a little bit more and see what it does. We're looking at a lot of coins right now, so Big Cat's starting to break back up. It'd be great if I could buy some token. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. So what we'll do is we're going to just hold, and we'll keep trying to buy. We have a little bit in here right now. And we have this two-sided pool, this one. And so you can see we're earning fees. We're over 130% on it right now. And so that's the benefit of having a two-sided pool over the one-sided pool is as it's going up and down, you're collecting fees the whole way. Yeah, we're waiting on Fred. I'm going to get off of Fred, but we'll wait for it to fight back. Dogecash is doing really good. It's on the high side. Let's check out that pool. Yeah, we're earning almost 90% on Dogecash. It's on the higher end of where we entered in at on this two-sided pool. We're at 9,772. So we're up on total liquidity entered, and we've earned about a sol and a half, maybe even a little bit more than that off of fees as well, which is pretty cool. Lester is ripping up. I'm pretty sure we never got into Lester, did we? I'm pretty sure we tried to get in earlier and we couldn't. I'm gonna get off this alpaca coin. I need to look at less coins right now so I can find all the good ones. Lester is ripping. Yeah, that's the right one. I haven't been able to buy anything right now though. Is anybody else having any trouble buying stuff? Is this just like Solana, or is it Jupiter specifically, or what? Or I just own a bunch of Lester and I didn't realize it, and I'm the one pumping it. No, I don't own any Lester. Yeah, it says processing transaction, but nothing's going through. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, I did a hard refresh on Jupiter, and it wasn't working. I don't remember the last time I used Radium, but we're about to use it. Lester dipped a little bit, so that's good. There we go. We swapped. Yeah, I don't know. Something with Jupiter. Yeah, I'm going to do Lester and Solana. You'll see right here. I'm going to create a pool. We're going to do a 200 bin, 2%. And we're going to do a two-sided pool. Bro, did I not buy? It literally said the swap was completed. Wait. What is happening right now? I apparently didn't buy any Lester. It literally, I saw the notification in the bottom right of my screen that said it was successful. What is this? Let's try again. Yeah, BitCat's dipped down. So I might end up adding some more BitCat as it dips lower. When you break out of a range on an upward trend, should you close the position and create a new one? It depends. If you think the coin's going to go much higher, yes. But a lot of times I just take my profit and get out, and I'll just sell the token and everything. All right, it says swap confirm. Okay, good. I actually got it that time. The conversion gives me a headache since chart is in USD. Yeah, sorry about that. That's how I like to do it. I know it's not like the best, but all right, we're going to create a two-sided chart here with Lester 200 bin. Should print pretty good. Wow, Big Cat just took a huge dip and then came back up. Once this pool is created, we'll go back there and see it. Yeah, well, actually, we're going to go to I think this is what we're going to do on Big Cat. We're going to close out of both of our pools here because our two-sided pool has been buying up more Big Cat, which is what I wanted to do anyway. This one, it's earning 142% on the fees, which is really good. We're going to close out of it. And the other one, I think, just pushed down below its range, and it's a one-sided pool. So we're going to pick both of them up, and we're going to create another one-sided pool on the way up because it looks like it's going to come down and test this again or maybe be a little bit higher. So we'll close out of that one. And we'll close out of this one. Oh, it's actually still in range. It's just at the bottom. Wait, can I just add to this one maybe? Yeah, I'll just add my BT cat to this one. We're not going to do a two-sided. We'll just do it like this. That way we don't need to close out of this one. So we're still in the 250 bin 5%, but that two-sided pool was kind of catching stuff on the way down, and now it's pushing back up. Dogecast is still doing really good also. Major still pushing up, going higher. It was at 81 mil last time we looked at it. Let's refresh and see what it's at. BT Cat's coming down, so we're creating a one-sided pool here. It may come down a little more, but I think from here it probably goes up more. We'll see what happens, but that's our goal. We also got a Lester pool, which we're in a two-sided pool now. So as it dips down here, we'll also be earning fees, but I think ultimately it'll probably end up trending more up than down, which is what it's been doing. Need to create some new lines here. I'm going to look for it to trend this line here. I think is where it's going to end up trending. We're still in Fred. So USDC, Lester, Dogecash, Big Cat. Yeah, let's see what Lester's doing. Call from Discord doing pretty good right now. What call, Excellent? You talking about Big Cat or something else? Oh, you're talking about Max? Let's take a look at Max. Looks like it's still early. It's at like 1 or 2 mil maybe. Let's see. Unless it's ripped up even more, but yeah, it's at 2.2 mil. It'll load here. Yeah, everything's kind of loading slow today for some reason. Yeah, the 30-minute volume and the 24-hour volume are basically the same because it's only been out for 30-something minutes. Let's take a look at the Twitter real quick. People are doing well on this. This is, again, a DGEM play that people are doing. It's a low market cap. Max kind of reminds me of like the dude from Baymax. I love that movie. It's cute. Let's check out maxcoinart.com. There's a bunch of people that I'm following that are following it, so that's a good sign. We'll go ahead and get in. Again, this is DGen, so we're not getting in with like a huge amount of money because it's a smaller amount. If it ends up doing well and moving up even more, then we could add more to it. I'm going to end up doing 10 SOL worth, which for me is not a huge amount. For you, it might be. It looks like it's in a slight dip right now, so that's why I'm getting in at where it's at. I don't draw charts on stuff like this because it doesn't really matter. It's just more of kind of the feel. So we'll see if we can buy 1 million max. All right, swap confirmed. Came through. Perfect. Let's go to a DLMM. Max. We can just do the let's do the token address. Looks like someone has a 400 bin 5%, which is perfect. That's kind of what we'd look for in a super new coin anyway. And we're going to create a, we'll do a two-sided pool. Why not? Add liquidity. That way, if it does go down, we'll add a little bit more to it. I think it's more on the upside than the downside. This is a coin we're looking to get in and out of pretty quickly. We actually have to do less Solana because my Solana is eaten up in other places, so we won't have as much on the downside. But I think there's more upside to this coin anyway, so we'll do that. Speaking of, hopefully this goes through. Position created. Perfect. All right, let's see what we can do. It's got a lot of interactions and stuff on there. It's got a decent amount of people. Yeah, there's a few of these people I like, and I see similar ones whenever they get into coins that do pretty well. So I think this could do pretty well. Still watching BT Cat here. Doge Cash still doing good. Major's doing good. Max. Big year, big time. Looks Max. Max is big. It's cute. I like it. I like the narrative. I like it. I like the people following it. I can ask some people about it as well. So we're DLMM in this. You can see here, the fees are stupid good. Even with just a little amount of liquidity we have, we've already made 0.2 SOL. It's over 999% on the 24 hours. So it's really good. And this is on a 400 bin 5% as well. So it's a good sign. Good sign. Honestly, Happy Cat hasn't been doing great for me. It's been sitting around the same place forever. So we're going to swap out what we have of Happy Cat into Max as well. I'm really liking Max, so we'll add on to it. I can drop the CA for y'all. Yeah, Big Hero 6 is the name of the movie, yeah. Did this swap go through? Doesn't look like it did. Wait, what? Did part of it go through? Is that a thing? Maybe I accidentally clicked half instead of max on max. Oh, I was doing half. I see. On Jupiter, the max button's on the right and the 50%'s on the left. So I thought I was hitting max and I was actually hitting 50%. That's funny. There we go. So what we're going to do here is we're actually just going to hold a small bag of max and we're going to DLMM. So we're DLMMing this one. And then we're just going to hold a small bag as well. And so we'll see what it does. But yeah, I think it's good. Big Cat's starting to make a move back up. So that's good. I'm going to check my pool on that one. I'm going to see if I can see if anybody's talking about it as well. It's good to look at this kind of stuff to see. I'll just look at the people that are talking about it. This person's got 17 followers. This person made a bunch of money on it. $26K followers. Bought max. This is all like 20 minutes ago. Bunch of people getting in here. Latest. Yeah, we'll see, but I think Max is going to do well. Yeah, this guy got in not long ago. Yeah, a lot of people are talking about it, so that's good. I think there's enough hype and talk around this that it's going to be pretty good. It's ranging really well right now, which is always nice instead of just like absolutely ripping. Sometimes when it ranges, that's like really good. Checking to see if anybody on Vector was talking about certain things. Let's see. Dang, I wish I would have looked on Vector earlier. There was somebody talking about Max when it was at like 400K. But yeah, it's ranging really well. You can see we're over 500% on the fees. Doing really, really good. Big pumps there. I think it goes even higher here. See it. We might see it break out above here, I think, in just a minute. I think we'll see some all-time high breakouts. Or at least attempt to break out. We'll see. Would it be a good idea to create, say, a 2% token for a new coin and try to attract more transactions? Yeah, you could. On a newer coin like this that has a good amount of volume, usually the 5% is plenty good. People will pay that to get in and out of a new coin. Martify died quick. Yeah. Yeah, once I saw that it was going down and the volume died on it, that's why we ended up not buying into it. So sometimes that's what happens. That's the case. Yeah, this looks like it's doing good. It might test here and come back down. Yeah. Looking really good though. Let this catch up. Yeah, so it's fun. A lot of times I'll do what I did where I'll like buy a small bag and then I'll DLMM a bag, right? So that way, like as it goes up, we're making money off of the increase, and then also we can collect fees from the DLMM, right? I bought some on my other wallet as well that I'm doing on vector.fun. And so I just bought a small amount, like a couple $100, but I might buy more. I'm kind of waiting to see what it's going to do here. Yeah, I'm just going to buy more now. It looks like it's just pumping up even more. Yeah, this is a good one. You can see here we're earning over 600% on the 24-hour. We're up on our liquidity, earning lots of fees. We've already earned around a sol or more in fees. So we're cooking on this one. What the massive red wick is, what causes that? Talking about this one here, this is probably a MEV. It's hard to fully know, but it's probably a MEV, meaning that basically there was a separation in price. Somebody ended up buying a ton and selling a ton all at once to be able to basically capture the difference in the price. There's people who have bots who literally look for this, for there to be like these arbitrage moments and then take advantage of that. So it's hitting some pretty good high numbers here. You might see it dip a little bit. I might start drawing some charts now that we're a little further in. I think it's going to dip down a little bit here. Might hold though. I don't know. It's got a lot of price action. A lot of this is getting eaten up pretty good. Yeah, it looks like it might come down just a little bit more. It's great for our fees. I love when it pushes up to an all-time high like that. That's right in the middle of our range here, and then just kind of is bouncing around. The crazy thing about this is that I'm earning over 700%, and it's on a 400 bin, which is a really, really wide range, which is why I'm still only middle of this top end range here. It's really, really nice. Yeah, it looks like that red candle just got eaten up. It's a good sign. So we're going to keep watching here. We are over 400 views on Twitter. Thank you so much. If you're here watching, thank you. Thank you. Please go follow me, put on your notifications, anything like that. If you really like this content, if you don't, hey, no problem. But if you like it, I'll be streaming at least 3 times, if not 4 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday for sure. And we do this all the time. Sometimes we're kind of messing with different coins. We're earning a little bit. Sometimes it's just a lot of kind of managing the pools, looking at different coins back and forth. And then a lot of times we'll catch ones like this where we catch them early. We're DLMMing early. We catch them because the Discord's very active at Fee Printers. It's a really good place to be. And we help each other out with a lot of different alpha. And sometimes that's the case. I think this just pumps even higher. It's just going ridiculous right now. This is going to be pushing into the top end of my pool. Still though, doing really good. Still earning around just under that 700% on the fees. Doing really, really solid right now. And the cool thing about this is we have a side bag that we're holding that's going up in value as well. But as this ends up going up and down, because it's not just going to go up forever, we're also earning a lot of fees from this. So really solid. Let me know in the chat if you got into this. Let me know if you got in. Let me know if you're DLMMing it, if you're earning money, or if you're holding it, what that looks like. Let me know. Hector's in. All right. Make sure you take profits as well. This could go to 20 million. It could go to 50 million, or it could go as high as it is right now and die down, depending on your tolerance, what you're looking for. If you've gotten into this coin, you've already almost 2x'd. Or if you're DLMMing it, you probably have maybe earned, maybe 50%, 1.5x, something like that, maybe close to 2x. Bought and hold in for 10 sol, 4 sol side bag. Nice. Because you never know. This thing could absolutely dump. And so make sure you're taking little bits of profit here and there. It's really, really, really smart to do that. Don't just hold forever. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll sell some of it, and then I will hold the rest for like a moon bag later, right? Let's see here. Yeah, you can see it dipped a little bit there, but that's probably going to get eaten back up, honestly, with the way that it's been. Watch, let's see this thing just go boom. Might come back down again, but yeah, there it goes. There it is. Back and forth, back and forth. So what we're going to do is this little side bag that we have, we're going to sell 50% of it. And this is just us taking profits. It's smart to do this. We're seeing a little bit of a drawback at the top, a little bit of resistance. We could see it come down a little bit more. It could rip back up from here. It's hard to fully know. I think we'll probably see much more upward action than downward action. But I like to take profits on the way up, right? Being consistent, taking profits when you can is really important. So we sold half of this. I don't know if you remember, but we put about 1,800, about 2,000, I think is what it was, in max, our side bag specifically. We just sold 1,800 and we still have, or sorry, we sold 2,300 and we still have another 2,300 left. So we've basically taken out the initials, and now we're going to ride it even higher, right? And so take profits. That's what all this red is. There's plenty of people right now that are excited to get in and seeing what is happening, and they'll just eat up what we're selling anyway. It's small amounts in the grand scheme of thing. And so keep doing that. Yeah. We're also watching BitCat dip down, just as a side note, looking at that. Dogecast dipped down a little bit as well, still well within our range. Major continues to push up slowly, moving up closer to that 90 mil range. We're going to come back over to Max here. Yeah, so seeing Max come up here and having this drawback and then it fight back up is really healthy. And so similarly here, I think seeing a little bit of a drawback back kind of to this range would actually be really, really healthy as well. Even if it doesn't come all the way down here, I think seeing it come down to here and back up could be really, really good. We'll see what happens, but I think that would be what I would consider healthy, right? You're seeing people take profits. You're seeing a nice little drawback before it finally does rip back up again. Still sitting at 4 mil right now. It's really good. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw some big sells coming in along with some big buys. Harry, I'm not sure if running anything like that overnight is a good idea. You could. It's up to you. Could you clarify when a new coin you would use Radium versus Jupe? In my mind, theoretically, Jupe should provide the same price. So I use Jupe like all the time. The only reason I'm using Radium right now is because I was having a problem with Jupe earlier. I may be able to actually go back to Jupe and it may be fine. But yeah, we'll go back to Jupe and just see. I was just using Radium because for some reason Jupe might have been having some sort of RPC issues or something, because I was trying to make trades and it just wasn't working. Yeah, like I said, this is good and healthy. Seeing it come back to here. Also, we're earning a ton of fees off of this. We're earning over 600% still. So as this pushes back down, this is actually really good for us, seeing these drawbacks here. I think we're going to see it come probably all the way back to this line, this resistance here. So we'll see. If I think it's going to break below this line, then I might look at maybe selling some more. And we'll see, though. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, right now our pool's sitting really good. The amount that we had on the side, we've already taken out our initials, or pretty close to the initials, if not the initials, on everything. So we'll see. But yeah, I think we could see it come as low as like this area here. somewhere between here is, I think, where we would see it come down to comfortably. If it ends up breaking lower than that, then again, this is why we take our profits, right? This is why we do that. We want to make sure that we capitalize on the profits. Yeah. Yeah, BitCat is actually dipping a pretty good amount here. Could see it go even a little lower. It's kind of testing that bottom range there. Let's check on our BitCat. Yeah, we're seeing Max dip down as well. Like I said, this is pretty normal whenever we see big pumps like this for people to take profit. So just something to keep watching. Again, this is why we took out half whenever we were reaching near the top here. Basically, once I saw it hit here and it looked like it was going to face some resistance, I was like, hey, let's go ahead and take out half here. We're still earning a lot on this pool here. And our entry point is here. Let's see what it bounces down to. It needs to update here. Oh, it's actually ripping back up. Fantastic. We're going to keep watching BitCat. Let's go to our pool here. I think BitCat's probably out of our range on our pool, or at the very, very bottom, pretty low. Yeah, it's out of range there. We're going to close out of the pool. BitCat has been giving me a little bit of a headache with what it's been doing. So honestly, it could rip back up and do amazing, but I'm basically just going to look for it to come back up a little bit higher. And then I'm probably just going to sell my BitCat and get out. We've made a decent amount on fees and stuff like that, but it just seems to be in an overall downward trend. And so what I'm looking for is it to come back up a little bit, which usually it'll do before breaking back down. And then I'll sell it. So we'll just need to see. But I think we see Max after it broke here, which is kind of the area, like I said, it was somewhere between here that it was going to bounce off of potentially. I think we're going to see it rip up pretty hard right here. It's showing good signs of pushing up. Yep, there it goes. I think it goes higher still. I think it'll end up coming back up. What I'm interested to see here is it's probably going to come back up here and test this all-time high that it hit. And so I'll be interested to see, is it going to break above this all-time high, or is it going to come back down? Either way, our pools are earning really, really good off of it. Still watching BT Cat here. I need to check something on my Vector app. Or not BT, BitCat. We're just going to get out of BitCat. It's been frustrating. We're down probably like $500 on it. But to me, it's just worth it to get out at this point and not worry about it anymore. It could dip down further. It had a pretty big rip overall. And so I'm happy just getting out. We made a ton of money on BitCat earlier, so it's okay to take a little bit of a loss there. That's why we were like slowly getting into it. So we're just going to go ahead and get out of that one while it's at its price that it's at now before it dips any lower. Yeah, Max is doing really good. We're going to keep watching this. I'm going to go back to my pool in just a second. pulling up. I like Vector. Gives me some good analytics. Yeah, it looks like it's testing the all-time high right now, so we'll just keep watching it. See where it goes from here. Dogecast still doing good. Resisting off or bouncing off that support there. I'm actually going to get off BitCat. It could do well. It could come back up, but Lester's still doing pretty good also. Is Dogecast looking bad? No, Dogecast is fine. It's ranging. As you can see, like it went from ranging here to then dropping down and ranging down here, and now it's back up ranging here. So if it breaks below this, then I would start to look for concern, not say you would need to sell, but then this next resistance, if it broke below that, I would sell it. But if it doesn't break below that, then I think I'm good where it is right here, and I just watch it keep ranging in this area and earning fees. I think we did a two-sided pull on Lester for that reason. Yeah, so Lester's earning 41%, which is pretty good. I'd like to see that pick up a little bit, but that's pretty solid. Dogecast as well, 80%, doing really, really good. Again, both of them are slightly on the lower side, but that's why we do the two-sided pulls. So we'll wait for them to push up at some point and collect on that. I haven't looked at Fred in a while. Let's see what Fred's at. Fred's slightly on the lower side of where we entered, earning 8%, so much lower, but Fred's been pretty solid, so we're going to hold on to that. And then let's go and take a look at Max here, which looks like it's dipped down a little bit again, but still earning over 500% on the fees. So we'll see where it goes. Again, we're just holding that side moon bag. We've already taken out initials on it, and then our pool is still very much on the high side, still earning really, really good on fees. So we're just watching that as well. So do you normally just DLM for short periods like this? Airdrop, sometimes I do. So like I'll leave Fred overnight. Like if it's looking good, I'll just leave it and let it go. But it's a lower percentage, but it's a much higher market cap coin. I'm not worried about it like rugging or anything like that. I think it ends up doing really, really well. So I'll hold that. Things like this, I wouldn't leave overnight or for long periods of time. Like I would where it's at now, because I'm on the high side, like I might need to go use the restroom. I'll go do that. But other than that, like I won't walk away from this chart because this is still so much a newer coin. And so, yeah, I'll get in and out. Sometimes it's 10 minutes, sometimes it's 30 minutes, sometimes it's a few hours, but many of my DLMMs are very quick like this. And so you can see the benefit of DLMMing here, right? So like we got in right around here when it was popping off, it broke above, we're DLMMing it. So we're earning fees. It goes up, but it's also come down, gone up and come down. So somebody who just held this and sold near the top would have 2x'd, right? But we've 1.5x'd on the value from this going up, and we've been earning fees along the way. And so we'll end up, if it keeps ranging like this, we'll end up earning much more than someone who just bought and held, right? Especially if you bought and held and you're not selling here. The value has now gone down a decent amount as well in the midterm. And so how do you know when do you sell or not to, right? Well, when you're DLMMing, you're not too worried about that. As long as you sell higher than you got in, the main goal is just to collect fees from the high volatility and trading that's taken place. And that's why I like this strategy. The high end is not as high as if you just hold it, but the low end is also not as bad. And the in-between, I think, ends up working out pretty good. So I wouldn't be surprised with this testing here. If it dips down a little bit further, we could see it test off of this range again. Kind of the goal would see it to either break here or have a low that's a little bit higher than this previous low before it comes back up. And if it wants to range between here, I'll happily take that all day. That's a great spot right here in our pool to just keep earning really, really, really good fees. So but yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if it broke down all the way to here or maybe just a little bit higher than here. Yeah. Anybody have any other questions, please let me know. We are now up to 419 views on Twitter. Thank you all so much. We also have people watching on YouTube. Thank you all for being here as well. We're going to keep doing this a little bit longer. I think I want to go to at least kind of run this out and see how well it does before we're going to get off for the day. And so still riding a few different things that are looking pretty solid for us. I think we're going to watch this dip down. Yeah, it's right there. And we want to watch it break off the support again and come back up. If it does end up breaking down here, we may end up closing out of our pool and just taking the profits of where we're at. But I think with the amount of attention this thing has right now and how well it's doing, I think we end up seeing it bouncing around in this range, if not breaking out again. So let's take a look at the Twitter. I didn't mean to do that. I just meant to type in that there. Got a lot of like mid-size accounts talking about it, which is always kind of good. It's like, it shows me that it's more organic than just like having some giant KOLs post about it, you know. It also allows for people like us to kind of get in, and then if the, you know, people with bigger accounts end up pushing it, it'll be cool because we already have a lot of people that are involved in it. This guy got in at 800K. That must feel nice. Yeah, I mean, just within the last 5 minutes, there's been a lot of posts about it. So there's still a decent amount of hype around it. So I think we see it again kind of bounce off of the area that it's at right now. Normally when a coin's doing well, it'll come down, usually not quite as low as the one before, sometimes as low, but usually not quite as much. And then it'll pop back up. So yeah, we'll watch it range around here a little bit. I'm going to run to the restroom real quick, and then I'll be right back. Maybe I shouldn't have left. It's dipping. It's still testing right around that range that I was talking about. Whenever I've said this before, but when I talk about these lines, they're not like exact, right? Because this is just like a line that's literally covering just an exact price. Whereas I usually give it like a little bit of a leeway around the line. I think it's still kind of considered testing a support or resistance or something like that. So we're waiting to see here if this resists. If it ends up breaking lower, then we'll probably close out. Once this updates here, you'll see like I'm still sitting really, really good where my pool is, still earning good fees, close to 500%. And so we're still sitting really good, just waiting to see if it's going to end up breaking lower or if it's going to end up kind of resisting and coming up higher. So it does look like it might be breaking lower. So we're going to go ahead and close out the pool. We're going to watch it a little longer to see if we want to sell or not. And I think with the way it's dipping right now, we're going to go ahead and get out. Make sure you're always taking your profits. If you want to stay in it longer, totally cool. But I'm going to go ahead and try to sell out of this. I assume this pool closed. Yeah, there we go. It looks like Jupiter is still struggling. So we're going to go back to Radium. This could just be on my computer. I have no idea. Yeah, it looks like it's dipping pretty heavy here. So we're going to try to get out of it. Yeah, it's dipping hard. Hopefully you got out, took some profit. Swap confirmed. All right, we're out. We're good. I would say based on this, it looks like it's about to free fall. I would definitely get out if you haven't. Obviously, I'm transparent. You can see everything I'm doing, talking about it here. So it does look like it's dipping down. It could show some resistance, but honestly, a lot of times when coins fall this hard, they'll either continue to fall or we might see like a little bit of resistance around here and then they'll dip even further before seeing something. So yeah, just be careful with that. And I think I'm fully out. Let me just double check. We'll take a look at the, we're going to keep watching to see what it does. But I want to look at the pool to see how well we did. Let's see here. App interaction. Oof, baby, she's dropping hard. And this is important. This is why when you see the tops, you take profit, right? Because so many of these coins, right? We saw one earlier. There's one earlier that literally absolutely ripped. It absolutely ripped. And so like it got up to here, right? You know, not exactly here, but just as an example, it got up to here, came down a little bit. We were riding it. I took a little bit of profit and then it ended up skyrocketing. I took more profit. And if I just would have held, I would have made way more as it went up to the 10, 15, 20 mil. But there's many, many times where coins like this will come up and then they'll end up dying off. Now, this coin may end up being okay. The next resistance is right here. I mean, the next support is here. So we could see it support here and start to come back up. And if so, then we'll get back in. But it's pretty normal to see pretty large drawbacks on coins like this. And so that's why it's good. Take your profit where you can. You can always buy back into the token if it dips back down. And if it ends up ripping up, don't have FOMO. Maybe keep a small bag or something on the side. But you can't have FOMO about that because there's so many times where this happens. And you want to make sure that you're not getting hit too hard when this does happen like this. It's a good example. I like that this happened because it shows like why you should take profits, right? We took that 50% at the top. We closed out of our pool. As soon as we saw it dip below the range, right? Where is it at? Right here. We were like, hey, as soon as it dips below this, we're going to get out because that's our point at which we say, hey, we don't want to be anymore. The likelihood of it dropping all the way down to here. Because look, there's no resistance. There's no support, sorry, between here and here. There's no support. And so the likelihood of it, once it dips below here and closes out of it coming down to here was pretty high. But you can see it actually almost perfectly supported off the previous support, which is over here and is now working its way back up. And so that's why we sold out up here. Obviously, we could have held through all of this, but we wanted to get out. We'll keep watching it. And if it looks like it's going to maybe break back up, we might get back in. It could be good in the long haul. We'll just have to see. So let me show y'all the transaction. I'm curious to see how much we made. So like, obviously, if I would close out of max on the high side, like if I would have closed out of it up here, we probably would have made a little bit more because of the TVO, but we wanted to keep farming it. We had a feeling it might last a little longer, go higher. And so it was good to watch it. I do think that it could come back up. So we'll just keep watching it, but I'm curious to see based on what it did, how much we earned, because most of what we earned was in fees. There's going to be a little bit on the TVL, but most of what we earned was in fees. So you can see here we made 35% ROI. And so we made, actually most of what we made was on the TVL, but we did make a decent amount of fees. So we earned $877 off of just the deposit to withdrawal. and we earned an extra almost 600 off a fee. So the total amount we earned in that amount of time was $1,423, or a 35% ROI on the $4,000 that we put in. Let's see here. We have a share wins channel, so I'll be posting about my win that I got here. Other people will be posting as well. It's always fun to check those out. I think my internet's a little slow today, which is part of some of my issues, but yeah, it looks like some people did pretty good on max. We had somebody earn a 47.5% on their max. We have someone earning 15%, someone earning 23%. So we had some good wins in there. Can you share a link to that P&L site? Yeah, this is metlex.io. It specifically only works for Meteora. But it's fun to share it. It gives you a good idea of how well you did. We are seeing Max try to fight back, but normally what will happen is here, it'll ping up off of this, come back down, and then we'll look for it to bounce off of this same range again and then come back up. It could even come a little lower or a little higher, but I think that's what I would look for here. And then if it ends up breaking, it's going to need to break back above this range here, this line here. It would need to break above that and close out to show that it's showing more consistency in the uptrend, showing higher highs and lower lows. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if this continues to die down. I would probably have gotten out or get out if I were you. I wouldn't buy in here yet. I would definitely expect this thing to go lower. So just watch for that, because it's now created a downtrend pretty aggressively. So just watch for that. I'd mentioned Dogecast coming down here. It did ping off this bottom support, which is really good. So we're going to keep watching it. Dogecast is going to be in our range pretty well. Let's watch Dogecast there. So that's what we do, right? Pretty much we sit on, we look, we find new coins that pop up. We hold the long-term ones. We earn fees off of it. We try to get out on the high side like we did with Max. We ended up making 1,400 off of Max. We'll be holding some of these, like this one that's doing really, really well. Wait for it to come back up, sell out, make some money there. Same thing with Lester. Lester is a little bit on the downside, but still earning 27% on the fees. And as it pushes up into the high side of this, we'll end up selling out there. And that's what we do pretty much every single day. Monday, for me, it's 4 days out of the week. I'm on, 6 to 8 hours. On Tuesdays, usually a little bit less. And on the weekends, I try to touch grass, and I'm on it a little bit less as well. But yeah, that's kind of what we do. That's how we earn. Are there any other questions? If anybody's curious about kind of what we do, why we do it, things like that, please let me know. Apparently, Fred's been dipping down pretty heavy. Let's take a look at Fred. Lester's sitting good, though, and so is Dogecast. Both of them are sitting good. I mean, I'd like to see Dogecast start to move back up a little bit. I don't want it to sit down here too long. But apparently Fred, Peanut might not be doing great either. We'll have to see. I assume Peanut looks like it's down a good chunk, so it makes sense that Fred's down. But we're holding Fred for the long term. We're not too worried about it. We think that it's going to go up and do well in the long term. See if anybody has any questions in the Discord. Am I seeing the whale dump on Fred? That may be why Fred is so low. It's actually still testing this this bottom resistance here. I mean, bottom support here. Well, I say that. This is technically lower, kind of right up in there. Yeah, apparently there's a whale that's dumping a bunch of Fred, which is why it's dipping. Honestly, when people like that dump and the price action's mostly going down because of a whale and there's still a lot of fight in it, that's a good sign to me. That shows that Fred's probably going to start to push back up. So we'll just watch it and see. But I'm good holding Fred in the long term. Not too worried about it. A lot of our other coins are still doing really, really good. Our Sol USDC is still earning 1% on the 24-hour fee. What is Sol sitting at? Let's see here. Juiced009. Thank you. Hello. Hi, I'm new here and thank you. I'm also on the road, so can't trade today, but can you send the Discord link, please? Yeah, I can do that. Yes, Solana is at 211. So again, as long as it's running between this 200 and 225-ish, our Sol USDC pools are sitting really, really good. So let me send you the Discord link. I'm gonna put one in the Twitter and one on here as well. Oh, it's sent on both of them. Okay, perfect. If I just put it in Twitter, it sends on both. There you go. That's the link. I want to look at a few larger coins. I'm kind of interested in what's going on while we wait to maybe find some other short-term plays. Someone asked about Max, if it's still doing well or anything like that. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like it. It looks like Max is pretty low. We'll see if it makes a comeback. It very well could. Like I said, there's a lot of the art's really good. There's a lot of people behind it that it could do well. A lot of times there's just hype like that builds up, and then there's enough sell action that people end up getting out of it. But the token itself, if there are a lot of good people in it, they're going to end up buying a lot of that back up. So we'll just have to see. I'll watch it and see if there's a good point to come back to it. But as of right now, I'm happy just getting in, making my profit, and getting out. That's sometimes just the name of the game and how it goes. Other times, coins like that will continue to break out, and we'll hold on to it long term. So it just kind of depends. We're not going to be live much longer, but I do want to see a few different things. So one thing I want to talk about is just the market in general, right? Because we're DLMMing, obviously things are going well. But I like to look at some stuff that's going on. So right now, I don't know if y'all seen it, but there's, Whiff and Bonk, kind of the two dogs. There's like a whole like competition thing going on and stuff like that. So it's cool to kind of see how they're doing in relation to each other. I hold both of them. Having some of these larger meme coins can be good exposure to the market to kind of see what's going on. And in case certain things get listed, certain things happen. Obviously, Bonk is already listed, but yeah, it's good to see. So let's see where Bonk is. Bonk's at 3.8 billion. It's doing really good. It's up a pretty good amount. Let's see where Whiff's at. Whiff also looks to be up a little bit. Yeah, Whiff's up as well. That's good. Okay. I might look at selling some of these. Bonk looks to be moving up a little bit more than Whiff, but Whiff's doing pretty good also. So that's good to know. Let's look at Goat and Fartcoin, some of these AI coins. What coins are y'all in right now? Are there any big coins that y'all are kind of watching or you're in right now that you think are going to do well in the long haul? Goat's dipped down. It broke above $1 billion pretty strongly, and now it's been sitting around $1 billion for a while. Volume on it's 1.2, so that's pretty good. Not too bad. It actually looks like it could be at a point where it might break out a little bit. Let's see how Fartcoin's doing. Mint the owner of Fee Printers is saying that if this thing rugs, we're going to have to CTO max. Yeah, Farcoin's actually down a pretty significant amount. I've seen a lot of things that are kind of sitting down a little bit right now. I guess a lot of money is flowing to some of the newer stuff. Let's see if we can look at Peanut. Where's Peanut? Peanut's right there. Well, let's see here. ACA. I'll look at ACA. WinFi Printers DLMM Jam. We're doing it right now. So Peanut went way down. It does look like it's starting to move up a little bit. I'd be interested to see Peanut break back above this range here and here. If it breaks back above this one, that'd be a good sign. And this one will be the really good sign that it's on a move back up. And hopefully Fred's doing a similar thing. Yeah, I mean, the chart looks a little different, but essentially it's down, starting to move back up. So we'll see what it looks like for Fred. How's BitCat? BitCat with a little fight back now. Went all the way down here and is now working its way back up. Also, if you're in Max, it looks like Max is starting to try to make a push back up. I wouldn't be buying into it now, but if you're already in it, you could be looking at it. Lester is good. I mean, Lester's pushed down a little bit, but it's still sitting pretty good. And I mean, Lester is on the higher end of where it's been. And so still just watching Lester. Has two decent little pullbacks here. I wouldn't be surprised if Lester pulled back all the way to here, though, before seeing it break back out again. So, yeah, it does look like Max is trying to break back up, so that's a good sign. For those of you that were holding it, you're not quite a community member yet, but you could become one. Yeah, on BitCat, I'd want to see it break up a little bit more. This is the kind of the first resistance, and that's the next one. But we'd want to see it come up, maybe bounce down, come back up again, make some good strong movements upward before we'd want to get back into it. But it's looking decent. Have to keep watching that. Fred's starting to make a move back up along with Peanuts. So that's good. Doge Cast still doing a similar thing. We'd like to see it come back up at some point, but we're fine with it down in this bottom range as long as it doesn't stay here too long. Kind of similar how it did here. As long as it does this and then come back up, we're good. We'll probably look to get out of Dogecast if it comes back up into here. And I don't think it's going to break out. So I'll watch for it to like maybe bounce off of one of these at some point, maybe down the line before getting out. I'm gonna check out on Vector here, see if there's any coins that people are talking about. Keep watching BitCat here. Anybody know what this blob token is? I've seen people talk about it. It seems like it's doing decent. Let's take a look and see. Sorry, I meant when is the next DLMM jam? What do you mean? I mean, we do DLMM stuff in Discord. Oh yeah, I meant to look at Aka. Sorry, I saw Hector. I forgot that you mentioned that. Let me take a look at Aka for you. You mentioned beginners should start with USDC Sol to get a feel of the strategy. Were you going to ask something else? I thought you were going to go to sleep. Weren't you up super late, like an hour ago? Hang by Kun? I'm not sure how you say that. But yeah, Sol USDC is a good beginner strategy. I like the 20 bin. Aka looks like it's fighting back. And it dipped down a lot. You can see we were originally DLMing it down here. Oh, wait. No, this isn't the one I was thinking of. This one hasn't dipped down. This one's still on the way up. Fees are fairly low, so it might be like decent if there's not a lot of competition to be able to DLM this one. This one may just be a good hold over the long haul. I'm not too sure, but overall it looks pretty decent. Put it back here. Come check on it a little bit later. Fred's trying to make a move up, which is good. Oh, Lester's frozen. Let's see. Oh, looks like BT Cat did go up, but then got eaten. Let's see. Fresh that. Do you think Doge Cash will break from this point? I mean, that's the hope. I can't say for sure that it will. All I can do is read the charts and make decisions based on that. But I mean, that's the hope, right? That it'll break off of that and come back up. I think it will, but we'll see. Oof, Big Cat dip back down again. It was looking good, but we were looking for it to break out above this line here. It did not. It resisted off of that and is coming back down. So we'll have to see what it does there. I was going to look at, oh yeah, there's a coin that I saw someone talking about on Vector. What do I think about this one? I'm going to look at this one real quick and then we'll go to that one. I don't know if this is it. It might be. I don't think this has enough volume. Yeah, this isn't good for DLMMing, but some people have been holding this and it's done fairly well. So I was just curious to look at that one. Let's look at this token that Jose Alvarez put in here. Shibu Doge mascot. It's at 11 mil. The volume is okay. It's doing under 500K, which isn't really my best, like the best. I'd like it to be at least 500K to DLMM, but it might be all right. And honestly, it looked like most of that volume picked up just within the last few hours. Before that, the volume wasn't very good. So I'd probably say this coin might do well. Like, I don't really know a lot about it, but as far as DLMing, it's not the best. But it could do well if people wanted to look into it. Yeah, we're seeing another dip down of Big Cat here. That's why we hadn't gotten into it yet, just watching it. I don't know what this line's for. I don't need that one. All right, I think we're going to hop off soon. So this is what my overall take is on some of these coins. Definitely watch Lester, watch Fred. They all seem like they're doing pretty well. They're just kind of sitting on the lower end, as well as Dogecast. But all of them will probably, I like all these. My hope, and I think most of them will probably start fighting back up. We're earning really, really good fees on them anyway. Some are 20, some 50, some 80% kind of on all of these. We're also holding a Sol USDC sizing, which will end up increasing whenever we take a little bit of a break. In between, I always like to increase my Sol USDC pool and add to it. It ends up, looks like it's in a good spot. I'll need to sell some stuff to get into the USDC pool. So maybe or maybe not, we'll have to see what I do here. But either way, I just wanted to say thank y'all again for everybody that's been watching, that's been hanging out with us. And yeah, again, I really appreciate y'all taking the time out of your day to watch. If you've been here for a while, we're up to 458 views on Twitter. Obviously, we got a bunch of people on YouTube as well. We'll be doing this again. Today's the last day that we'll do it before next week. And then I'll actually be going out of town. I'm going on a mission trip in a few weeks or next weekend. And so I'll be here all next week, but then I'll be on a 1 week break before coming back again. And so try to jump into it. We'll be inside the Fee Printers Discord. You can join the Discord and check out the educational content there. You can ask questions. I'll be in there as well as a bunch of other people chatting later today, tomorrow, over the weekend. Even though we're not live streaming or on as much, it's still, we'll be in there chatting and talking about different coins. And then next week I'll be back on. I'll be streaming around the same time, which is 10:30 Central, 11:30 EST, or 3:30 UTC, 3:30 p.m. UTC. If anybody's looking to come watch again, you can always follow me. You can turn notifications on for all of my posts as well as my live streams to be able to get on. And then I like to post them in Discord as well. So thank y'all again. And I'm going to go ahead and end it now. And so I hope y'all have a great weekend. Remember, always take profit, try to reduce those losses, make sure you're touching grass, spending time with family, working on your mental health as well. So thank y'all again, and I'll see y'all around.